Welcome to the 25th episode of The Backlog Boat. As always, I am your captain, Roberto Gonzalez. To my left, we have the doctor.
Hello.
And to my right, we have the navigator.
What up?
All right, now it started, Jake.
Adam, man,
What
go.
did you
Make
guys
the podcast
do?
happen.
What did you guys do this month?
Did you do anything, Stephanie, that was not media related?
No, not this month. I feel like it was all media related. What about you two?
I feel like I didn't do shit again. Just been grinding.
I know I'm constantly doing shit, so I just keep or lose track of the shit that I've done. Like, I went to a Rise Against concert that I did not know was going to be a Rise Against concert, and it was quite good. Because I went there to see another band called Destroy Boys that I really like, and I did not know that they were touring with Rise Against. But in addition to that, had my homie's bachelor party. That's not super interesting. We just drink IPAs and play board games. So, I think that I've heard bachelor parties are supposed to get fucking crazy, but honestly, that sounds like really annoying and not fun.
You mean you didn't have a hangover escapade?
Oh, I was hungover as shit, but that's just because I was playing Rock Band. I know I bought Girl Scout cookies while like trying not to vomit, and that was about it. But I also went to a collectible card show, and this I feel like cascaded a series of events that like ruined me, like mentally. Like I don't think I've ever felt more like alien and like upset at the bastardization of something that I thought I loved until I went to this fucking card show. So to preface, my friends like collecting Pokemon cards, like collecting One Piece cards, and they're like, "Hey man, you like card games? You want to come to this card show?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, fuck it. That sounds like fun. I love playing card games." And the fool I was to think that there would be any card games being played at this card convention. All they had at this card convention were Pokemon cards and sports cards and a tiny amount of One Piece. And it was just a fucking capitalist, fucking buy low, sell high, trading fucking Wall Street bets nightmare. Like, I thought maybe I could get some bulk, like, Magic the Gathering cards, or, like, maybe get some bulk, like, Pokemon, or fucking Yu-Gi-Oh!, or maybe see some, like, card games that are, like, kind of hard to get now, like, fucking Duel Masters, a Chaotic. Nah, none of that shit. I'm seeing people, like, fucking argue over prices, and then buying sealed product just as an investment. And fucking, I saw this fucking dad, and he was talking to his kid, and his kid, like, he fucking traded for a card that he really liked. And he's like, "I love this card." And his dad's like, "Son, but like, the other guy wants that card, and he's willing to trade you a card that's worth more. And then you could, like, keep trading up for more value." And I was like, this is actually fucking disgusting. Toys are meant to be fucking played with, boys. I don't know how y'all feel about that.
Glad I didn't go. I wasn't gonna go.
Yeah, I've been on a fucking depression death spiral for like the past like 4 weeks. And I'm pretty sure that's what set it off. After I got home after that card show, I think I just sat in my chair and stared at my wall for like 2 hours. So that's what I did.
I mean, I was going to say that sounds fun, but yeah, that kind of sounds a little bit sad.
And watching something that you love just like be invaded by the desire for money. Yeah, it was fucking cheeks.
Yeah, I guess one thing I did do, which was kind of lame, which is why I wasn't going to mention it, but there is a little community days thing where I live, where a bunch of people do yard sales and everything, and so spent a day doing that, trying to find some cool finds. And I will say there was a couple of places where if you went all the way to like the front, like where the people were at selling, they had a bunch of like regular stuff, regular yard sale stuff. Then in the back, there was one place that had a bunch of Hot Wheels, which I guess are collectibles, so they were kind of pricey. And then they just had like this little box, and it was just stacks of cards. and there were just grown men like looking through all the cards, and I was just like, I don't even care if they're sports cards or whatever, but I'm like, I don't know. Yard sales used to be like cool. You could find cool shit, and like it was just, oh, you might get a good deal on something, and now it's like going to a fucking, I don't know, place where it's almost like going to a store that sells like collectibles at the price that they're worth, and I'm like, that's not what yard sales.
I'm of the opinion that I think TikTok has like ruined hobby culture.
Like there were other places where it was like, yeah, they didn't even care. They're like, yeah, yeah, man, like take this. My nephew got a couple of things for free just because people were like, oh, just take it. Like, eh. And then I did find this really cool place though, and again, I don't think that the person running this was doing it for like a yard sale. They're because they had business cards, and they're like, oh, if you're looking for something, just give me a call. And they had a bunch of like old school Halloween decorations. So, like it looked really cool when I first like went in there. I was like, oh my god, this is awesome. And then it was like everything was super expensive. And then she's like, oh hey, you see that there's a couple of Christmas stuff there? Later I'm gonna do like a Christmas sale, and I'm gonna have a bunch of stuff too. Here's a card if you want. And they are cool things. Like, all those really old school Christmas decorations that like they just don't make anymore, probably because they're made out of toxic shit or something. It was like that stuff. She had this really cool Mickey Mouse phone. You guys remember when landlines had like wacky phones you could buy that were like decorative but super expensive?
Yeah,
She
like a
had a
fucking
vin-
hamburger phone and shit.
yeah, but she had like a vintage Disney one that was like it had like Goofy and Mickey, and like it looked really cool, and I was like, I'm not even gonna ask how much you want for this. And also, like it serves no purpose now, you know.
Yeah, I feel like anything more than like $5 is absurd, but also like it's like a combination of like hustle culture and like TikTok haul like flip shorts have like ruined like secondary markets.
Yeah, I don't know. Kai got like a really cool computer chair for $5. So I was like, there you go.
Bro, I need a fucking cool computer chair for $5.
But yeah, that's pretty much the only thing I really did.
Well, Stephanie, did you play any video games?
I mean, I did, but I didn't finish it. So I was still trying to finish Resident Evil 9. So I will pass it over to somebody else who has something on their list.
Play any video games, Rob?
I did. So there's a game that I was super excited about. It got announced way back in like 2022 or 21. I don't know. Whenever the backrooms craze was going wild. It's a game called Subliminal. And this game has had the rockiest launch ever. Um, they've been working on it for years. There was a bunch of like controversy with like their Patreon, and they kept pushing it back, pushing it back. But this was a game that looked really cool. Like the trailer for it, and all the concept art and everything they were posting on like their social media, it looked like a really cool backrooms type game that had like almost these super realistic graphics. And I was pretty excited about it, even though there was a bunch of these games. And because it took so long for this game to come out, a bunch of these games did come out. You type in backrooms on Steam right now, you get like multiple pages of results. But finally, after a bunch of drawbacks, early last year, they dropped a demo. And I was like, all right, I've been waiting for this. Let's try this out. Okay, I said early, but I think it was actually late in but it was last year. And the demo blew me away. I was super excited. It was like, God, what's that game called? The Valve game. I don't even know if it's a Valve game, but the one where you walk around and the narrator talks to you, and it was made by the guys that made the beginner's guide that Jake fucking hates.
Stanley Parable?
Stanley Parable. It was Stanley Parable meets like a horror game. Even though it was like backrooms adjacent, like this demo made it seem like there was an actual like story, and there was a reason for the narrator to be there. There was like story hooks, and it was doing some interesting things with the both the backrooms like type deal and that Stanley Parable thing. And it was essentially kind of leaning towards like a hey, this also isn't new, but it was that whole yo, you got some trauma inside your head. We're doing this experimental thing to like try and get to the root of it and like help you out. And so you're essentially inside the mind of some person and trying to, I guess, do this experimental therapy thing by trying to deal with a traumatic thing. So it's going to be that type of horror game, like oh, something happened and yada yada. But it just worked with like that narration, the graphics. It looked like a really cool thing. Fast forward to the game drops, and god damn it, I don't know if you guys have heard. A bunch of streamers played this game because it came out. For some reason, this game is now a Poppy Playtime clone. It's got the same little puzzle mechanics to try and like continue. It's got a mascot character that chases you. And I don't know if it's because all these games already came out that like this seems like you're just retreading the same thing when I thought you were going to be something else. A lot of people thought it was going to be something else. And now it just seems like, for one, it seems like they kind of ditched the whole backrooms thing and they decided to go, I don't know, maybe the route of what they think sells. And so even though the game looks amazing, like it looks great, and I do still like the narration bits, I'm just a little disappointed that they went that route. And it's also episodic again now too. It's one of those, here's chapter 1, we'll drop chapter 2 later, and I'm still going to keep playing the next chapters cuz I'm hoping it does something different. There was a lot of ideas here. They worked on it for years, and I think they even had like, because they showed multiple things where it was more backrooms adjacent, and so I'm like, I doubt that you guys just threw all that away. I can't fathom that you guys took years of work and just scrapped it to quickly throw this out. So I'm
I
hoping.
have actually seen that happen to a shit ton of video games, and the reason for that being is people trying to migrate to Unreal 5.
Well,
Like, the migration from Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5 has fucked up the development for a bunch of shit. That's why Overwatch 2 is a fucking disaster. That's why Halo Infinite's a fucking disaster. So that's why SMT5 is a fucking disaster. So that it might have just been a victim of we got to use the new tech and then getting fucked by the new tech. I mean, that's also what happened in multiverses, though, right? Like they went from Unreal 4 in the original beta, and then to release they went to Unreal 5, and it fucked up the whole game.
yeah, like I said, it's a game I had a lot of high hopes for, and so I'm, whether it's cope or whatever, I'm gonna continue. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But that's one of the games I played. Subliminal. Since Stephanie doesn't have anything, Jake, what do you got?
Yeah, I actually played like a handful of games now. I'm thinking about it. It's just I don't have too many deep thoughts about them. But something I was surprised about is Mama's Sleeping Angels. This is another friend slop adjacent game, even though I'm pretty sure the developer would fucking shoot me with a gun if he heard me call it that. But it is a like Y2K weird core nightmare lethal company. Like you spawn in like a white room with you and your homies, and then mama is asking to be fed. So you have to go out and find like these weird fucking eldritch items that do weird shit when you hold on to them and like feed them to her. And there are like NPCs out in the dreamscape and like enemies, but you're not really sure who is who or what is which. And sometimes the enemies aren't hostile, and sometimes they are, and you don't know what aggro's them. It's just weird. It's a weird fucking game that is meant to feel like a dream. And I think they captured that essence perfectly.
Feel like you need to see what this looks like, Steph.
The aesthetic is a massive part of the game, but also I really like the music in the game. It's just like hits all of my goofy, weird indie game boxes. Like if I'm gonna play a friend slop game, I think I would prefer it to be this one just because of how much I fuck with the aesthetic and the visuals and the direction. Like I think they had a real idea and managed to just capture that perfectly. And then your like home base is like weird and has all these little secrets. Like it's I think it's supposed to be like your grandma's house, and then you go outside and the world is all fucked up and like shit is just it doesn't make sense. Like you have buildings that have like slides going between them and you could just fall off the edge of the world and die. There's like gigantic clown faces all over the place. But also the game feels like it has a lot of love for like the original like source game and that era, like Unreal 3 shit. I don't know, it's just a combination of shit that I like and love. And I think it's what, $6? So if you got a friend slop night coming up and you don't know what to play, I would highly recommend Mama's Sleeping Angels. I don't think Mark fucked with this game at all. I think it made him quite uncomfortable, and I think that's very funny.
You start the game, Stephanie, and you have a little old school flip phone with like little phone charms from back in the day. And that's your little menu. That's how kind of like you pick up stuff, do stuff. And then you close it and you walk through this little tutorial where it tells you to chop off your head. And that's how the game introduces itself to you. It does have a lot of little things like Jay said of like shit he likes. Like even the character selection, you go to a mirror and you swap over characters almost like it's a early 2000s skating game, which is a cool little thing, I guess. It's a lot of aesthetics, a lot of style. The music is good. The whole thing is a vibe.
Yeah, like they managed to just take. I don't even think it's a formula because apparently this guy's been developing this game for like 4 fucking years. So, but like, imagine taking your friend slot formula and then just having that vaporwave Y2K backrooms aesthetic, but also like love for video games that came out between like 1999 and like 2002. Like it just does feel like the developer just has a lot of love for this shit, and you can feel it, and I'm grateful for it. But what else you got, Rob?
I also found this other little gem. Have you ever heard of Loco Cycle, Stephanie?
No.
All right. Do you remember the guy in 6 Feet Under, the Mexican dude? His name is Freddie something in real life, but I don't remember what his name is in the show. But yeah, the mortician guy. So this game caught my attention because I saw his face and I was like, oh hey, I know that guy. Loco Cycle is a game that has real life cutscenes, so it's almost like a movie with game segments in between. And it starts Freddy, who is a mechanic that gets caught on a smart bike that's kind of a weapon because it shoots guns, missiles, and it's a bike. I'm not really sure the plot of this game. It starts with James Gunn trying to sell these bikes to the highest bidder. And then as they're moving the bikes away, lightning hits this particular bike. And so it's got to get sent to the repair shop to get repaired. And Freddy is the mechanic. So he starts like fixing it. And then the bike like comes to life. And it sees a commercial on TV for this biker convention. And this bike takes that and goes like, oh, that's where we have to go. We have to go to this biker convention. And Freddy, the mechanic, who only speaks Spanish, is like, what? And then the bike's like, yeah, no, we gotta go. And his pant leg is stuck on the rear tire, and the bike just goes. So this whole game, you're playing as this bike that is dragging along Freddy, and you're going on this adventure across the US to get to this bike convention. This game is wild. It's really fun. Like I don't mean fun as in the gameplay. I mean fun as in like the whole. It's wacky. It's zany. You got crazy characters. You got like regular typical enemies where some dudes are just shooting you at the back of a car. But then you get guys in jetpacks that come try and stop you. You get guys in like for some reason almost like stilts, so they're up tall, but like they got wheels at the bottom so that they can like be on the road. And you also have another bike that's chasing you and trying to take you down. And the first time you fight this bike, the other bike is like, "Oh, you got a human with you, so I need to go find a human." So he goes and he finds this tourist white lady who only cares about like drinking and eating food, who happened to be on a road trip. And the bike's like, "You're bigger than the other human. You must be better and smarter. I need your help." And so he does the same thing and gets this woman attached to his rear tire. And it's just a crazy, wacky story. And Jake saw a little bit of this gameplay and he thought it looked like dog shit.
Look, man, I have love for Twisted Pixel games, bro. I think they made some fucking Xbox Live bangers. The Maw, Splosion Man, Comic Jumper, Miss Splosion Man, The Gunstringer. So I was shocked. I've never heard of this fucking game. And then I saw the gameplay and went, never mind. I am not shocked at all. Because this shit looks absolutely fucking dreadful to play.
It's actually super easy to play. Like it's
I know. I'm just saying it looks like it would get really boring and repetitive.
I don't think this game outlasts its welcome. But then
No, I'm sure the charm is this game. Like, that's what keeps it rolling.
haha. But eventually, after a bunch of trials and tribulations, you get to the final showdown between you and this other bike, who is at this point your nemesis bike. And I was like, "Oh, okay. I've done boss fights before so far, and a lot of them have different shticks to them." So I was like, "All right, cool." But then, like, the bikes are like, "All right, let's settle this once and for all." And you see all these other goons in the back, like just like watching and cheering. And then the fight starts, except now the camera pulls back. You're at a 2D screen, and both bikes are propped up. And the final boss fight with this nemesis bike turns into a fighting game. And I was like, that's pretty cool. And it obviously they didn't put all the work into making a fighting game. All they did is a heavy punch, light punch, heavy kick, light kick.
I believe we would define this as a beat 'em up.
And because I've played fighting games, I was like, I wonder if this has any corner circles or anything. And then I was like, they added some Street Fighter shit. So you do have a Hadoken, and it's just corner circle forward, heavy kick. And I was like, all right, cool, 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 cool. I just thought it was cool. I thought it was fun that they did a little fighting game finale, and I was like, all right, it's fun enough. It was just a fun little, kind of want to play a game that's just fun and just a game. Sometimes you need that. Tired of getting my ass kicked at Halo or fucking losing at a misery run, losing all the fucking weapons. I'm gonna start over. Too much fucking anger-inducing deadlock matches. Time for a little loco cycle, and I had a good time. That game also looks ridiculous. I mean, it looks like a game that came out in 2012. Yeah, that was local cycle. I think you have one more game to talk about, Jake.
Yeah, thanks for the transition. So I played a game that's been on my list for a while. This game almost made me buy an Xbox One instead of a PlayStation 4 on launch, just because of how excited I was for it. And here I am, a little over 10 years later, and I finally beat it. And that game is Dead Rising 3. This game fucking broke me, bro. I was like, man, that card show really fucked me up. Let me play something to remind myself why video games are such a fun and interesting medium. And this entire game is a befuddling exercise in fucking misery. They have taken everything that I love about Dead Rising 1 and 2 and bastardized it. And I could see where Capcom Vancouver's head was at. But oh my god, what the fuck were they thinking for the entire run of this game? I fucking streamed this game, and what little Robert saw, he was like, what the fuck is going on here?
Nah, it's cool. They talk about. I think it's very topical because they were talking about getting rid of the illegals.
Okay, so the big plot point in Dead Rising 3 is zombie outbreaks have happened. And the way the government wants you to deal with it is by getting a implant that'll automatically administer the daily medicine you need to keep from turning if you get infected. And people that don't want to be chipped are called illegals. And you play as a Hispanic American man named Nick Ramos. And I feel like they were trying to be topical with this game, but their execution narratively sucks ass. Like, Nick is supposed to... I like Nick as a character, because he's supposed to be like the... Oh, geez, this is fucked, guys. This situation is rough. Whereas, like, Frank West and Chuck Green in Dead Rising 1 and 2 have seen some shit. They've been through the shit. So they are both, like, stoic and straight-faced, and they still have, like, somewhat of a moral compass. Like, they're not out there doing the wrong thing, but they've just seen so much shit at this point in time that they're almost, like, numb to the violence a little bit. But Nick is like, oh my god, this is fucked. Why are people like this? Oh my god, why? Oh, this whole zombie shit is crazy. And he'll, like, talk to himself and try to hype himself up whenever you're like, you need to run through a horde of zombies or get from point A to point B. And it's kind of endearing. But also, Nick has the highest fucking kill count out of any character in the fucking Dead Rising series. I think he's killed more fucking people than Frank West and Chuck Green combined. By, like, an exponential level. It's total fucking narrative dissonance where this guy's like, oh dang, oh geez, and then you fucking take a guy and then you shove him into a lawnmower. Because he's a fucking army soldier from the US Army doing his job. But, like, narratively, if it was... I thought the dissonance was dog shit, I could handle it. But, like, every single decision they made fucks with the Dead Rising formula in a way that makes it worse. Because the Dead Rising formula is, hey, you have X amount of time to complete your goals. And also, there are survivors on a clock. So, like, you find survivors out in the world and then you bring it back to your safe house. But if you take too long to do that, like, they will die. Like, you can't just... It's not like a side mission that stays there forever. If you get notified that, like, oh, hey, there's a guy out there, he's fucking around, you should go bring him back. If you wait too long, he will just eventually just get eaten and die, or somehow get himself killed. So it's like one of the survival horror aspects of the Dead Rising series is it not only turns the actual items you are trying to manage, but it also turns your time, your literal time, into a resource. Do I have the time to get all this shit done and prepare for this boss fight and get all the weapons I need and all the health items I need in order to get the main quest done and also do all these side missions? And it was a formula that really worked. But when you introduce an open world, cars, a sprint button, additional mobility, like, it starts breaking the formula. Because now it turns all of the escort missions, which are highly stressful, because you are trying to, like, get this old lady to come back with you all the way across a fucking shopping mall from one end to the other to save her life, into, hey man, just get in my car and then I'll drive you all the way to the other side of the city. And it's fucking boring. And one of the major selling points of the Dead Rising series is chop till you drop. You're in a shopping mall. Anything can be used as a weapon. Get literally anything and just start fighting zombies with it. So it gives you this like really scrappy feel where you're just like grabbing whatever the fuck you can to survive and just running straight through. But because Nick Ramos is so fucking like movable and has so much maneuverability, you got a dodge roll, you got a knee drop, you've got a sprint jump, you could fucking build a fucking tank basically that shoots out flames. The zombies are literally not a threat. They are not interesting to fight at all because you have too much you can do. And then on top of that, they doubled down on the crafting system from Dead Rising 2. And Nick can just make all these insane weapons that don't make any fucking sense. And then just nuke entire hordes of zombies. Which is like entertaining the first couple times you do it, but it makes them even less of a threat. You're no longer like trying to scavenge and look for like actually useful weapons. Instead, you just have a locker at your home base that lets you spawn any item in the game you want, even crafted items. And it's just like, yeah, all right, cool. You saw Far Cry 3, you saw Skyrim, you saw Assassin's Creed 2, and then you tried to inject that shit into Dead Rising, and you just made the game worse and less fun to play. I don't even want to talk about the fucking psychopath bosses in this fucking game, bro. That shit is so crazy.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jake's talking about all this stuff, but like every time I looked up, like I look up, there's this Nazi fucking woman that's making everything sexual, and I was like, well, that's weird. But I guess if you and like every single fucking pose or thing she did was like just it's like you're getting shot at, and that's what you're doing right now. You just killed a man and then shoved another guy and put his face in your breast. Like it's I was like, okay, this is weird. Can't get weirder. Look down, look back up again. It's some dude with a dildo fucking gun sword thing. I don't even remember.
It's a cock and balls flamethrower, actually.
Okay, there you go.
One of
And I
the
was
one
like,
of the balls is filled with liquid nitrogen, and the other one's filled with napalm.
and I was like, all right, this is the type of game that this is, I guess.
I don't know, bro, because like even like Dead Rising isn't an ungoofy game. It has its moments, but like a lot of the psychopaths are like heartbreaking, or you could at least empathize with them on some level, or like they're scary because of like the fucking outbreak has just let them unleash their inner fucking insane person. But all the psychopaths in Dead Rising 3, they feel like bits that aren't funny. Like they're supposed to be like labeled after the 7 deadly sins, but none of them are scary, interesting, or like empathetic at all. And most of the time, Nick doesn't even need to kill these people. He just does because he's a fucking idiot. There's an entire boss fight where like a lady gets mad at Nick because he keeps misgendering her. Because she's like at a yoga studio trying to like work out. So she's like fucking jacked as shit. And then eventually she just gets mad and then fights him. And then it results in her getting crushed by a fucking gigantic fucking shelf. And then Nick just flexes in the mirror and he's like, fuck yeah. And then he walks out and I was like, bro, you are literally the worst. There's another like one where like there's this fat lady in like a mobility scooter in a buffet and she's hoarding all the food for herself. And she's
Saw
like
that one.
stabs a guy to death with a spork for trying to get some of the buffet food. And then you like knock her over and then she just chokes to death on her own vomit. Like this shit, it's not funny, it's not interesting, it's not entertaining, it's not creative. There's no deeper narrative thing happening here. This game is also super fucking sexist and super racist. It is crazy. I was like, what the fuck was going on? They have a Japanese voice actor voicing a Japanese man with a Japanese accent, but the developers put Chinatown in the game, so they dressed him up as a Chinese monk, put him in Chinatown, and gave him like I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know what the fuck they thought they were doing here. But like he's supposed to be like a business salaryman who just snapped at the apocalypse and just started killing people. But he's using like a Chinese Dao, even though like he's Japanese. I don't know what the fuck they thought they were doing here. What a miserable fucking experience. God, I don't even want to acknowledge that Dead Rising 4 exists, because apparently this game is significantly better than Dead Rising 4.
That's crazy.
But
I
yeah,
really played much
this
of those.
shit was so ass, bro, that I started reading books because I was like, you know what? Maybe video games aren't it. Maybe video games aren't art. Maybe actually I've been wrong about every single career decision I've made in my life, and making video games and playing them is a waste of time.
Sounds like you had a month.
That's why I think Dead Rising 3 is mid.
Well, since we got no more games, Stephanie, what do you got for movies?
All right. So I actually forgot to talk about this last time, but I think it's just like crazy, so I have to bring it up. And so it's called The Carpenter's Son. Do you guys know anything about it?
Kinda, because I once looked up whether there was any Jesus horror movies because I pitched my own idea for one.
I was about to ask, is this like related to Jesus? But like, well, that's spoiled now. No, I have not heard of this shit at all.
It's the Nicolas Cage one.
I do not keep track of this man's career.
Tell us more about the Carpenter's Son.
All right. And well, I'll say this. So it is about Jesus, but not. I'll just throw that out there. And it's really weird that people say that it is about Jesus, because like I guess like who this is supposed to be about, which is supposed to be, I guess, an image of Jesus. Like he has a whole different name. Like it's crazy. And I guess I'll say this, they actually don't like say his name or anything like that. But that's like it's just kind of weird. And I guess the mom, right, also doesn't have a name. And Nicolas Cage, he also doesn't have a name. So it's just like really weird where I'm like, okay, then I can see that I guess they had to like tread lightly with this movie. But once you watch this, right, if you all have read the Bible, if you haven't, if you've just even like been to church once in your life, like this is not Jesus' life, like at all. Like none of it is like parallel. I think it took like a lot of liberties. And so Nicolas Cage, he's the carpenter. The son, which is supposed to be Jesus, is literally called the boy. And then I guess also like Mary is just called the mother. And they refer to one another as this. And again, right, like once you think of like Jesus growing up, you would think, right, like it would be like historically accurate. But no, like everybody in this movie has like a different accent. Everybody in this movie is like almost talking in like modern language, but then we'll go back and there's like no modern technology, obviously. So it's just like weird. It like doesn't make sense for time period.
I want to hear somebody in this movie say something is woke, and then I want to hear somebody else call that man an unk.
I will also throw this out there. So, like, I just think it's interesting that they decided to use Nicolas Cage, and I guess I don't know about enough, or I don't know Nicolas Cage's whatever, like their acting career enough to be like, can he also do accents? Or is that just not in his repertoire of like doing things? But like he just straight up talks as if he's just talking. The boy has a completely different accent. The mother also completely different. There is supposed to be like this evil person, which is a girl, and she has a completely different accent. And so it's just like all weird, all weird. And basically, it is supposed to be this horror tale of the boy and like what he goes through during this time. And he's performing miracles, put that in quotation marks. But really, it's just like a bunch of crazy shit. But you could also be like, oh, wait a minute. Like, it's not like he was helping people. It's not like he was like hurting people, put that in quotation marks again. And a lot of these things could just be like happenstances. And so it's like crazy. Like Nicolas Cage is like, that boy. It's all of these things. And I don't know who chose again all of these actors, but like the mother and the boy have like this weird tension on screen and you're just like,
Well,
I
hold
don't
up, hold
think
up, hold
that's
up. What do you mean tension, bro? What are we talking about here? I might be interested
no.
now.
You heard me
That's
right.
wild.
It is the weirdest thing ever to be like, I don't, and again, right? Like, I have no idea who was like, okay, a mother and a son, they're going to have like a very, I don't know, the way that they just talk to each other, the way that they also like interact. And like at the end, there's just like a certain scene where you're like, bruh, that seems like basically they're in a romantic relationship. And it's just like so weird and odd. And again, it doesn't follow anything either. Like, this isn't talking about like, oh, this is like actually Jesus's time as like a teenager. That's not what this is, but it's supposed to be based off of that. And it's very loosely. And again, I don't know if they had to change a lot of things, but it is like the worst acting. It is the worst like horror things. And then it's also just like weird, weird tension, weird stuff. It just makes it not good, very
How
unsettling.
old is this
And
boy?
I don't even think they say how old he is either, like in the movie. But he's supposed to be like, I think maybe around like 18 or before this, right? And so it's just like, it's just weird. It's just all kinds of weird. And they do like reference things, right? Like is there a hanging or whatever? Like, yes. But again, there's like all of this other crazy shit going on.
Stephanie, have you ever considered that maybe this film is avant-garde and you're just not emotionally or creatively intelligent enough to understand what this film was trying to say or do?
I'm gonna make you guys watch it. Like after that comment, you guys are gonna watch this
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
gonna be
Thanks,
like,
Jake. You
my gosh. You're gonna be like, I wish I could get my hour and 30 minutes back.
Well, Robert's
And I
made me watch
would.
some dog shit before, bro. Like, you don't even know. I think the fucking, what is that fucking movie that lives rent free in my head because of what a piece of shit it is?
The dead don't die.
Correct.
Okay.
Fucking
I
go with that and then fucking come back to me about dog shit movies.
All right, all right. You know, because Jake always brings this up. I will say one thing about that movie, though, Jake, because I defend it, but I would never have recommended that movie to you if I had watched it previously before. Like we saw the cast, it was a zombie movie, and we watched it together for the first time, knowing just that.
That was an endurance exercise, bro. I was literally like, turn this shit off, and you're like, no, but it might get really good. And I was like, bro, save me. God, take me now.
This is Stephanie's like, yeah, this movie fucking sucks, and you're like, have you considered you suck? Maybe you don't get it.
It's just a
For real.
worthwhile question to ask when you're watching a film. Am I just too fucking stupid to understand what's going on here?
Well,
I mean,
something
I'm
to think
pretty
about.
fucking lucid. Like,
can't wait.
and
I mean,
just
it's a Nicolas Cage movie. You said Nicolas Cage's acting is also bad,
yeah. But
like in
like
the Nicolas Cage way, or like actually bad.
no, like actually bad. And like I said, right? Like I don't know who was like, "Hey, we're going to keep everything as if we're talking in like modern language." But then we're also going to have some people that actually use like past language or again like their cadence of things. And like when I say people have different accents, I mean like the evil girl, she has a British accent. And then you have Nicolas Cage with his American accent. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think a lot of people had like either UK accents, British accents. Again, right? Like it didn't matter,
Do you think it
but
could have
there
been
wasn't
like
any.
a Hamilton style representation type thing or like Bridgerton type deal or
No, no. And so that's the other part, right? Like this isn't like whoever was like, "Oh, this could be a creative liberty." I don't think that's what they were doing. I think it was kind of more like these are the people that we have. We're going to go through this. And I do know like when it was first announced, there were people that did have like a lot of thoughts and they also made those thoughts like very public. And so I don't know if maybe they had a completely different idea in the beginning and then they're like, "Well, we have to scrap it now."
Ah, a subliminal. I see.
So, but I will tell you this, it like doesn't make sense. Where I guess historically they're placed also doesn't make sense. It doesn't line up with anything.
It takes place in Detroit.
And no. Could you imagine? No. I guess it's supposed to take place in like Roman Egypt. that obviously does not show. And it's just like, it's just wild. Wild to think about things, wild to be like, okay, then. And to just keep watching it for an hour and 34 minutes. I was like, why did I do this to myself? And I'm going to throw this out there. I have never said that this is a good movie. I didn't go into this being like, you know what? I think this is going to be fucking amazing. Like the reviews speak for itself. But I was like, okay, we're going to see. We're going to see what it's like. I'm going to watch something that I don't like and see if maybe I get something out of it. This movie did not get anything out of it. Absolutely not. And now you guys are going to watch it. So
Yeah, I was like, you got that out of it. Now you know we're gonna watch. Holy shit, this movie actually has worse reviews than The Dead Don't Die, Jake.
That's fucking. Well, I mean, you probably pissed off the Christians, so pretty big group. Last I checked.
I'll be honest, you can't even piss them off because, like, even if they're like, "Oh, I don't like the way this is depicted," literally nothing is according to the Bible. Nothing is according to what Jesus actually went through or was recorded in the Bible.
Fucking expect my bad Nicolas Cage horror movie to have biblical accuracy.
Yeah, I was like, I can see it still pissing him off because it does say Nicolas Cage is Joseph, F.K. Twigs the mother Mary, and Noah Jupe as the boy Jesus. So like, even if they don't refer to them by name, that is who they are cast as. So either they're like, you know what, fuck it, just to piss him off, write it. Write Jesus next to him. Write
So hear
Jesus
me
next
out,
to his
right?
name.
Hear me out.
Uh-huh.
So where was like Jesus born? And like, what the heck is going on? And I'm gonna be honest with you too.
I don't know, Boise.
Pretty much, pretty much.
Definitely not Nazareth. It was Boise, Idaho.
There is one thing that I thought was really funny about this movie, though, and it's the concept of Nicolas Cage basically acting like a stepdad. And there's a point where like he makes a joke and kind of comments on how a lot of people feel just about the whole thing with Mary and Jesus, and you guys know. So
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Logistically, I would just assume that she cheated. I don't think my faith is strong enough.
and in the Bible, right, completely different. But I just thought it was like hilarious. That's the one thing where I was like, damn, that was a good one.
Okay, because I was gonna say, I would argue Nicolas Cage's most famous role is technically being a stepdad, but
Con Air?
Raising Arizona.
Yeah.
But he's not technically
I,
a stepdad, so yeah.
yeah, it's about to be like,
It's like Jake, if you haven't seen that movie, that's a good Nicolas Cage movie.
I just could not. Well, you guys better buckle up. And then I'm going to be like, okay, Jake, is it because you just don't get it? Or is it because it's just bad?
See, I can't wait for Jake to now have to like he's gonna be like, this is art. This is
It's a
the
cinema.
most beautiful. Yeah, this is the most beautiful thing I've
I think
seen.
I picked a good time to start drinking again.
It will not matter how many shots you take, how many beers you
Yeah,
drink.
also no,
Like,
fuck you. You have to be sober while we watch this movie. I don't want you to blame all
I
this
don't
shit on me.
recall any of that stipulation happening whatsoever.
No.
You can't police me or what I do.
This motherfucker's gonna get drunk and be like, it was funny when Nicolas Cage said this, and I'm gonna be like, that movie was dog shit. And he's gonna be like, I had a good time.
you won't. Like, regardless, even if you had drinks, like I was saying, like, it still wouldn't redeem this movie in any way. Like, you would still be like, wow, this is like very boring. And wow, none of this makes sense. And wait a minute, like, who is this dumb? It's just so many things, so many things.
Yeah, I guess the biggest crime I think any piece of media could commit is being fucking boring.
Yeah, I don't think The Dead Don't Die and we're boring. Was boring, but
That was one of the most boring movies I've ever watched in my fucking life, bro. You know why I don't think movies are art? It's because of that fucking movie.
well, that was The Carpenter's Son. On a lighter note, I watched Anaconda.
I also watched this movie. It was just such a nothing movie that I forgot that I watched it because it left my brain space.
Okay, well,
Wait, the old one or the new one?
the new one. Yeah, are you talking about the new one, Jake?
Jack Black one on Netflix. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the reason I'm even talking about this movie is, for one, it it was a nothing movie, but if you watch the first one, there's a little something there for you. And I thought it was like decent. Like it was a fun time. I wasn't bored during it. But the reason I'm talking about it is because this is what I want them to do for The Exorcist. This is what I want them to do for a horror movie. And they did it for fucking Anaconda. Because do you know the
What the
concept for this
fuck?
movie, Stephanie?
I saw the trailers for it.
Yeah. So the concept for the movie is uh there's these guys who really like the movie Anaconda, and they're like, "Hey, we got the rights to it. Let's fucking make a reboot or whatever of this movie." And
Yeah, it's like a
then
bunch of guys in the movie industry that they're technically in it, but they didn't really make it in the way they wanted. Like, homie's a Z tier actor, homie is a fucking Z tier writer, homie's like a fucking Z tier fucking camera operator, etc.
yeah, basically a bunch of kids that used to make theater kids, they used to make fucking movies back in the day, and now they're adults and this is their second shot. But they're trying to make this movie, and then in the process of making this movie, real life becomes the movie they're trying to make, and like there's a real anaconda and it's after them, and it's you can kind of get the topic. And yes, Jake, you're like, what the fuck? No, that's what I think like the sequel to The Exorcist should have been, because I didn't watch that fucking new one that came out. But I firmly think that's a movie you can't redo. So the best way to do it is, oh hey, you get a bunch of guys that are gonna remake the movie or make a sequel, and in the middle of them making it, holy shit, someone decided to use some very realistic props, or they really want this movie to succeed, so they did some shady shit, and voila, now we're in it. Because I do like that concept, and I think it would excel in a horror movie.
So, like, a paranormal activity.
No, because Paranormal Activity is like it's we were just happened to be recording, and this happened.
Or like a found footage.
No, it doesn't have to be found footage. It could be like
Actually,
a
isn't this the
movie.
plot of Five Nights at Freddy's 2? What you just described?
I haven't seen Five Nights at Freddy's 2 all the way
Let's
through.
go look for some shit. Ooh. Oh
No,
no,
but I
there's actually
mean,
real shit here.
no, but I mean specifically someone trying to make like The Exorcist is one of the most famous, most fucking huge movies. Anyone that is gonna undertake making a sequel or redo it is a lot of pressure.
I was about to say, I would agree with that. And I think that makes it worse though, because I think The Exorcist, The Poltergeist, I think there was another horror movie. They just
Where
like
bad shit
have,
happened during, right?
yeah. And I was about to say a lot of people died. And so that's why I'm like, it's just
That's
like,
why it would be such a good idea. Like, I'm not saying actually do it, but I'm saying like you see how that would add to it? How instead of making the movie like, and you would have someone be like, "Hey, we need to not remake this movie. Do you know what happened?" Like that could be part of the plot of the movie.
I think it's just kind of more like a superstition, right? Like,
I mean, you could
what is
argue
it? Is
that
it
might be
Hamlet?
a little bit insensitive.
Yeah, but they did redo The Exorcist, or they made a sequel anyway.
If you're like, oh, it's curse, and you're like implying that homie died via curse
That is a
in
thing.
real life.
That is a thing that they say in real life, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, I don't know, tell a fucking victim's family that.
They do. That again,
Yeah,
that
that
could be the
happened.
part of the plot of the movie. Like, someone being like, "Hey, you don't think this is a little insensitive?" And some rich Hollywood producers like, "I don't give a fuck."
I don't give a fuck. Make the movie, and you're making the movie anyway. Like, it's. What I'm saying is, it's not any morally better that you're like making a
I
point of it.
I'm not saying it's morally better. I'm saying it's cinema. Like we have a lot of true crime documentaries that don't give a fuck about the victims and exploit
I
them.
I would argue we should not be emulating that or encouraging that.
I guess, but for the purposes of this movie itself, Anaconda, I thought it was a good time. It's not anything to write home about, but you know, it's a fun little
I would classify this,
A cable movie, like you said last time.
yeah, as a cable movie or some shit to throw on in the background around some kind of family event that's not going to piss off your parents. Because that's exactly the environment I watched this fucking movie in. Watched that shit during Easter. I think I laughed like 3 times. I think my mom laughed like 3 times. And my dad didn't take the remote and turn it off. So that means he thought it was fine.
I watched it during Easter because Jocelyn was going to fall asleep, and I was like, "Oh, Kai, let's finally finish Ted Lasso." But Jocelyn decided she wants to watch it too, so now I can't watch it, even though he's on the last episode. And I'm like, "All right, let's watch this," and they're like, "No, we got to watch that together." And I was like, "All right, cool."
I would declare this movie literally, functionally, by definition, mid.
It's a coworker movie.
There you go. Now he gets it.
All right, Jake, you only have one movie.
I did watch a bunch of shit. I just don't have
Yeah, I
much
guess
to
that's
say
fair.
about it.
Well, tell us about the drama.
I watched the drama, Robert Pattinson's and Zen-Die-Ah's A24 romantic comedy movie. At least I thought it was a romantic comedy. I think this movie's really fucking funny. This movie has a lot of really good cringe humor that kept me giggling in my seat for pretty much the entirety of the 2-hour runtime. And the girl I was watching the movie with was not laughing or giggling at all. And I'm like, am I fucked up? Am I weird? Am I wild for thinking that this movie is a comedy? But the drama is about Robert Pattinson and Zendaya, and they are in the process of planning and getting ready to get married. And while they're out to dinner with the best man and what the fuck is she, best woman? I don't know what the fuck they're called.
Maid of Honor.
Yeah, there you go. Like going over the dinner options and like trying to figure out what to serve at the wedding. Zendaya gets a little bit too drunk and lets a secret slip out. Something that she's never told anybody before, and it's something that is not great. But it's not like a I do this thing. It's a when I was a lot younger, I did this thing or was thinking about this thing. And it's like drives a wedge in between the friend group and Robert Pattinson, and then the rest of the movie just becomes like an anxiety-induced cringe nightmare where none of the characters could get that topic out of their head, and they're like trying to communicate about it because they still like love each other and want to get married, but they just functionally like drove this fucking massive wedge in the relationship, and they're not sure how to handle it. And what I think is hilarity ensues.
I mean, I really want to watch this movie. I think Stephanie and I both know that little plot twist.
Yeah, I guess like I don't know. It's funnier to me because it might be a hot take. I honestly don't think it's that big of a deal.
All right, without saying it for our listeners, Stephanie, do you think it's a big deal?
I mean, I will say that it is very interesting that it's Zendaya that is the one that had the big thing come up. And I would say that in terms of like, there's this thing that I've been doing with like watching police footage on like YouTube. And again, right, there are just like multiple different things that happen. So not trying to give anything away. And like with some of this like video, it could be like going into a McDonald's and just like starting shit. It could be again like domestic disputes. It could be like anything, right, on this YouTube channel. And there was actually something that I was watching recently that applies to it, and how somebody who is under the like age of 18 was like called out for it. And there was just like all these receipts and stuff like that cuz youth be on the interwebs and they share a lot of things. And I was just like, that is crazy. So I would say that in the grand scheme of things, like later on, if you didn't have like all of these receipts, I mean, who's really to be like, oh yeah, like maybe this is really something that this person did or didn't do? But if there is receipts, I'd be like, that's kind of crazy. Yeah, I feel like that's concerning.
I know from my perspective, I'm just like, well, that's not the person I fell in love with. That's not the person I wanted to marry. That person that had those thoughts and did those things doesn't exist anymore.
I
Like
mean,
I
that's
am
true.
not my younger self at all.
Okay, so
Like
hear
that
me out.
person is fucking dead and buried, essentially.
That is so interesting. Like, most
Interesting choice of
definitely.
words.
No. I think it just like really speaks to. So, have you all seen like the TikTok drama about the director for this movie?
Yeah,
I
I've
told Jake about it.
seen
Yeah.
that, and it's also a nothing burger. Like if you think the director's a creep, that's fine. I don't think the movie had anything to do with that.
Okay,
Like
so
I
hear me
guess the
out.
drama is like homie reminded me to kind of fucking creeping. Or at least said some shit about 16-year-olds, which is gross. But there's like a scene in the movie where like Robert Pattinson can't get the thought of what she talked about out of his head. So like he's going about his day-to-day life with her, but it's her younger self. That's the part that people are reading into. And it's just supposed to be like him like not being able to stop thinking about this thing when he's with her. Not that he's like, yeah, she's like however old.
Well, a thing that added to the thing is that the other movie he's made other movies, but one of the other movies he made is Dream Scenario, which ironically is a Nicolas Cage movie. But it's essentially about someone being canceled when they technically didn't do anything wrong.
I mean, and I'm going to throw this out there, right? Just because I think we all know what it's about, but just in case our like 10 listeners don't know what it's about. So, what ended up coming out around like in March of this year was that with this director, he had wrote in 2012 to this magazine talking about a relationship that he had with a 16-year-old. And I don't know how old he is, but again, this is technically like his younger self, right? He wrote into this magazine 2012. How long ago was that already? I'm like, geez. Well, that's like again like 14 years ago, right? So technically, right, this still kind of connects, not with the same content, but he's also saying like, hey, this in Norway, and this is like really similar to like the whole what is his name, like Russell Brand. Like in Norway, the age of consent is 16. And for us in Washington State, the age of consent is also 16, which is like very interesting. And so this whole thing resurfaced on like referencing his magazine article from 2012 on how he talked about his relationship when he was very clearly an adult and the person that he was dating was just 16. And so there's been a lot of things with that. And I think it also could be argued though, right? He was younger, he wrote in about his experience, and now it's being used against him almost in
I mean, to
current
be
time.
fair, he was like 24. That's still like an adult ass adult. What I'm saying in this movie, I give the character leeway because she was like what 13. Homie was like not 13. Homie was a full ass fucking adult.
Yeah.
Like even if I think I was kind of cringe at 24, I am still closer to that person than I was my fucking 14-year-old self.
I don't even remember my 14-year-old self, to be honest with you.
I mean, I would also agree. And I'm not saying again, right, that you can't like grow and change, especially from like high school to adulthood. Like most definitely. But I do think that there are certain things that maybe you do when you are either in high school that can still like have consequences later on. And so not saying that this person is a bad person or not saying that like again, Zendaya is not deserving of love as this character. I think it's just like another thing to kind of think about. And are there certain crimes, I guess, like when you're younger and you're like dating somebody that you wouldn't want? And it's not even to say like a crime, I guess. We're just talking about it from like this dude's perspective, the director. Like, are there things that are like non negotiables that you have for a person, even if they did this like 10 years ago, would that still be something that you think about?
Yeah, I guess that's the point of the movie is like, would this be enough of a deal breaker to call off your wedding? Is basically the fucking question the movie is asking. Like that's the debate that everybody is having because some people are like, "Yeah, bro, you gotta dump that bitch," and some people are like, "Hey, man, it was a long time ago," and then varying opinions in between.
Another thought-provoking movie from A24. I do like those.
Yeah, but as I said, I think it was worth thinking about because the movie's really fucking funny. I think this movie's so goddamn funny. It was literally just 2 hours of me laughing. And I feel like there might be something wrong with me, but I don't care. This movie is so goddamn funny.
I mean, I
Like,
really
Robert Pattinson is one of the funniest motherfuckers I have ever seen in cinema.
He's also funny in real life.
In the Twilight movies, in fucking The Lighthouse, and now this movie, bro. All three of those movies I find so fucking funny. But yeah, go watch it. I don't know if you have like a very low tolerance for cringe-based humor and anxiety, you might struggle to get through this movie a little bit.
Bro, this is the same guy who like you know how when you're a teenager and you're in a movie with another co-star and you're dating and there's all the questions that they ask or whatever in talk shows? This is the guy where when they asked him how him and Kristen were doing, he's like, she's pregnant. just, just as a fuck. And Kristen's like, God damn it, this fucking
I fucking hate this guy.
he's a funny motherfucker.
Yeah, but that's what I had for the drama. Did you watch anything else, Stephanie?
Wait, do I go? Or what happened?
Yeah, do you have anything else? Did you watch any other movies?
Oh, okay, then. Is Robert there or no?
I am sorry.
Oh, okay. I was about to be
Okay, no,
like,
you're good. You're good. Yeah. What
all
else you
right.
got happening?
All right. So I won't say too much about this because I would encourage people to go watch this, but I ended up seeing Hoppers. And the way that I watched this, I'm so sad that I, watched this in a way maybe I shouldn't have. And so it was just an amazing movie. It answers so many questions of like the Pixar Disney universe. And it was just like, dang. Oh, man. Anyway, so if you all don't know about this, I think, Robert, you told me that like Fujimoto had like basically tweeted the best thing ever of how it describes it. Basically, it's just the time I got reincarnated as a beaver. And that's basically what this is. Like a young girl is trying to save basically like this part of a park that's near her. And it's really near and dear to her heart because of a lot of different reasons. And beavers are like really essential for the ecosystem. And of course, right, there are so many other like animals that they talk about like during this movie, but her whole goal is to try to get it like reestablished. And there's like some crazy stuff that goes on, and it is just so amazing, so nice, and it is really funny at times. And just I could not say like more good things about this. This was like a nice movie to watch, and it actually felt like it was saying something. So I'll leave that there. Who wants to go next?
Yeah, see, it was a debate between whether or not we were going to watch the drama or Hoppers, and I was like, what the fuck is even Hoppers? I feel like advertising for Disney movies is bad. I feel like movie advertising in general is kind of bad. The only way I find out about movies is if, like, somebody in my YouTube feed talked about a movie. But I really like the way this movie looked, so I definitely plan on checking it out.
Yeah, so you said you watched it in a way maybe you shouldn't have?
Yeah, I ain't trying to get us canceled.
So what you're saying is it's available in ways that we should not partake in.
Bro, just... Stephanie, don't you make, like, ass tons of money? Just go to the fucking movie theater.
Okay, so I had thought, right?
Allegedly,
like
if you didn't allegedly go to the movie theater, you should have allegedly gone to the movie theater.
Right.
Allegedly.
Right. Allegedly, put that in quotation marks. Maybe I did, right? Anyway. So like with this, I think it is a movie that you should watch in like movie theaters if you can. If you can't, it's still gonna be a good time. But like, it is a good movie, and I'm like, dang, yeah, most definitely just support it in whatever way that you can, even if it's just like buying the physical copy when it comes out, because it really was a good movie, and it's good again if you have like small kiddos, the whole family can watch it and still have a good time.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to watch it, but then like with my nephew, but then they went to watch it a day I was busy, so it's like, dang, hate to see it.
What, bro? You don't want to be that 40-year-old man in the middle of the children's movie theater by himself?
First of all, I'm not a 40-year-old man. Second of all, no,
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I don't have the confidence to go see a movie by myself. I kind of wish I did.
it's easy.
Well, yeah, because you're the type of 40-year-old guy to go to a movie by
I'm saying
yourself.
it
I'm
depends on the
not.
movie. It depends on the movie. I'm not gonna go watch Hoppers by myself, but I'll go watch other movies.
I was about to say, haven't you only gone by yourself like once or twice?
Me?
Yeah.
I used to go literally every weekend when I lived in Spokane. Well, every
I have
Friday.
never watched a movie by myself in a theater, bro.
I mean,
Only seen
technically,
I've only seen one or two movies where I've been physically the only person in that entire movie theater.
that's what I was gonna say. I was like, technically, there are other people with you there, so
Well, yeah, but yeah, that's what Jake means, like going by yourself.
Yeah, but I'm like
Yeah.
annoying, and I like to crack jokes while I watch movies.
Well, crack them to yourself.
No, what? That's so lonely.
Yeah.
What the fuck? God, like, what a miserable creature you would be to do that.
What a miserable creature you are to not think to make yourself laugh is a good thing. You are a person.
You don't have to say that shit out loud, bro. You can just.
Have you tried it?
I mean, I think people that talk to themselves are kind of fucking insane.
it's actually pretty normal. There's research on this. But I mean, just throwing this out there, you wouldn't have to say it out loud. You could just again like say it
So
internally to yourself.
we're going back to the world being wrong and me being right, but everybody thinks I'm wrong because they're all actually wrong.
I mean, I don't think anybody's wrong in this scenario. I just think you all should go watch it, or again, like I said, pay for it when it comes out. It was a good movie. I would watch it again and again and again and again.
I mean, I will. I will. It's definitely not.
Yeah, I'll definitely watch it. I'm just saying, I have a coworker that doesn't have an internal monologue. Anything they fucking internalize is just verbally spoken, and like I'll just put my headphones in and not even listen to anything, so I don't have to hear it.
Well,
Yeah, externally processing. Sometimes that can be good.
yeah, you know how like when you're with friends and you're hanging out and you like something funny happens and you laugh out loud, or like you'll crack a joke and then you'll laugh. But when you're by yourself, something funny happens and you don't always laugh. Like it has to be really fucking funny for you to laugh by yourself. Next time, try cracking that joke out loud to no one but you, and you're probably also still gonna laugh. It's nice, but
No, because my dad will just like laugh randomly while he's driving in a silent car, and it makes me very uncomfortable.
he sounds like a happy man.
He's not.
Well,
I mean, but that's also people that you know. If you're around people you don't know, I feel like that's different. But again, you don't have to do this either. It sounds like Robert hasn't seen the movie. You both could go together.
it's true.
Trying to get
Speak,
Robert's bitch ass in a car to do anything's hard. But yes, go ahead. Transition.
okay, I mean, I'm the last person that said let's go do a thing, but okay. Uh, Speaking on a topical thing, I watched the movie called Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. You guys heard of this?
No.
So, Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die is a movie where Sam Rockwell comes back in time to a diner and is like, "Yo, what up, guys? I'm here from the future, and I come from a future where AI fucked everything up. So we got to go make sure that never happens. Right here, I got the safeguard to AI. These are the things that will place safety procedures into the AI so that like the AI doesn't fuck everything up. and we got to go take care of this. Who's coming with me? And you essentially get this comedy, the dark comedy adventure movie about this guy who comes back in time who's done this multiple times and has always failed. But he's here to try and stop our future from being taken over by AI. And it's a real funny movie that does a lot of. I don't think this movie had like a huge budget, so it does some pretty interesting things, and it manages to not. It doesn't show its budget. Like if you watch this, you probably wouldn't be like, oh, they probably had a limited budget to work with because they do a lot of heavy lifting with the things that they do, and it's just a fun movie. Definitely not for kids. About this ragtag group of individuals trying to take down big AI. You know, since everyone loves AI right now.
Very topical. Thank you for reminding me of my existential work-based nightmare.
Well, I mean, that's what the movie's about, bro. It's AI bad. You know, I'm kind of glad that there's a movie advocating for that. But yeah, it's another. I would say it's another like not quite a coworker movie because it does have a couple of things that like a coworker might be like, hey, yo, that's
Blows my mind. You understand the classification of a coworker movie, but not a coworker music.
I understand what coworker music.
Why do I feel like a fucking crazy person, bro? Somebody reset the Matrix, please. I think there's something wrong.
I'm just saying. I do think it's a good time. Like you guys would like it, and I do like that this movie doesn't play it safe. Like there's a couple of times in the movie where I'm like, oh, this would be the safe choice, the like easy. We can do this. It's satisfying. It's nice and neat. And this movie's like, nah, we're doing it, and they go all in on that. But it's a pretty short movie, like not worth saying much else if you guys are gonna watch it. But yeah, that's my last movie. Stephanie, it looks like you had a theme here.
I did, but I don't have a lot to say about it. But I did also watch the new Mario Galaxy movie, and I mean, I liked it. I know a lot of people were like, there wasn't really a plot, but I feel like there was. And I mean, it is a kids movie, and I do like how they set everything up because I guess they're gonna come out with like a lot more. I guess they're gonna continue like with the franchise a little bit. And I heard that they might come out with like almost a Super Smash Bros. Like
What I'm
movie.
understanding is Nintendo basically just recreated Kingdom Hearts, the cinematic universe, but with Nintendo instead.
I mean,
What
I'm
did I
excited.
miss? How do we get Nintendo Kingdom Hearts?
I mean, I'm assuming like the other characters come from fucking other planets, right?
What are we talking about? Are we talking about the characters in like this movie specifically?
Like if they make a
Mario
Metroid
Galaxy?
movie, there's going to be a Metroid planet with Samus on it doing Metroid shit, and then her Mario can high five and make out right in front of Peach.
I mean, I guess I don't know if I've heard about that specifically, but I have heard that like so Star Fox he might get his own movie. And there are like different like cameos within this movie specifically of like different people that you see from like Super Smash Bros. And so I don't know if everybody's gonna get one. I want to throw that out there, but that does
So
sound like a really good idea.
they're gonna go to the Legend of Zelda planet, and Link and Luigi are gonna just violently make out.
Your mind's going places, Jake.
I was about to say, I was like, well, actually,
I'm just saying,
I don't
bro.
know if this
Newgrounds is now real. Nintendo just looked at that shit and went, "Yeah, we can do that."
Well,
one
I do have a question.
rendition.
Or sorry, go
Okay,
ahead.
I was gonna say one rendition of Luigi's love interest that will be introduced in future movies. So that's kind of cool.
Actually, yeah, aren't Mario and Peach in these movies like friends? Doesn't he get cucked out?
So I'm gonna be honest with you. I have no idea how old Peach actually is. So I know that Nintendo confirmed that she's like 16 in the video games, but I have no idea what the heck is going on. And
The
this isn't a
drama.
spoiler. This isn't a spoiler or anything. but like Rosaline is like also in the movie,
Well, it's a Mario Galaxy
and
movie.
also she, of course, right, they're sisters or whatever. That's been confirmed, but like they never say their ages. But you know that they've had their kingdoms for a while too, and so it's just like what the heck is going on? And there is still that tension between like, well, I wouldn't say tension, but I guess it's very clear, right, that like Mario is interested in Peach.
Are they not a couple? Are they not a couple in these movies?
Well, they're not a couple in real life. Nintendo did say that, so
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck, bro. That's not real.
I
I don't
mean,
give a
like I
shit.
said, I don't
Nintendo's
know how
wrong.
old they are. So, I also don't know how old Mario is in any of this. So like all I'm saying is that there is like where they're like flirting, or again, it could also be that they're very good friends. Who knows? But
I'm
other
gonna go ahead
people
and
are
say
introduced.
this is an Iraqi situation where his interpretation of his own creation is wrong. Nintendo doesn't understand Mario. Okay? Do you think I fucking went and got all 100 stars in Peach's fucking dumbass castle just for some cake, bro? I'm after a different kind of cake. Are you fucking for real? Mario got nothing after all that shit? Just a high five and a slice?
I mean, I don't know, man.
You can't do my boy like this, bro. There's no way you're putting Mario in the cuck chair. Him and Peach are a couple. They have to be.
They're not a couple, bro.
I I can't live in this reality, bro. The Matrix is broken, bro. Reset me, bro. Plug
Luigi
me
and
back in.
Daisy, they alright,
Factory
bro.
restore
But
me.
Mario. All
Gonna
right, but
say,
here's the important thing. Here's the real heart of the fucking Super Mario Galaxy movie. How is my boy Donald Glover as Yoshi? Can
bruh.
you even
Okay,
tell it's
so
him?
If he has a speaking role, I'm gonna lose my mind.
you can't tell that it's him. And so you would know this more than me, Robert, but I guess like there's a whole point in like Community where he does the fucking Yoshi voice basically.
I don't even remember that shit, and I've watched Community like 5 times.
So there's a TikTok going around about it, and I was just like, that's crazy. But you can, but of course, right, it's just like Yoshi. So I mean, there's only like certain things that he does say. It's just wild. It's nice though. It is nice. There's only one scene where I was like, oh damn, that's kind of crazy. But anyway,
I was like, it makes sense though. Homie basically manifested Miles Morales, so
that's true. That's true. Could you imagine? Yoshi just starts rapping at the end, bruh. Just anyway, it was a good movie. Would suggest. I wouldn't say that you have to go to the movie theater for this, but if you want to, most definitely. And I don't know. I have seen that there are pretty amazing like popcorn buckets. So I was like, dang, that's kind of cool. More to come from that whole franchise. So
hmm.
that'll be fun.
I watched the first one. I don't remember a single thing about it.
I didn't watch the first one.
I think the Minecraft movie did what the Mario movie wanted to do.
I like the Minecraft movie. I think that movie's legitimately funny. I've rewatched that movie multiple times.
Well, I think that's it for movies, right?
I know. I guess I watched Green Book, which like I don't really have anything to say about other than I thought it was a good, nice, feel good movie. Watching the King of Gondor though slam 30 glizzies and be a fat fuck is really funny. Fucking watching Aragorn take a whole pizza in a hotel room, fold it in half, and then just start shoving it into his mouth. I'm like, yeah, this is good. This is quality. I enjoy this.
I really like that movie.
I also really like that movie.
People said it was like Oscar bait or whatever, and I was like, I don't.
It absolutely was Oscar bait, but I don't care.
It was just good.
You only like it because it's good. It's just quality slop.
Yeah. I have nothing to say about Project Hail Mary because I read the book, talked about the book. But we did watch that in the movie.
I thought that was a great movie. I think that movie loses most of its value if you do not watch it in theaters. Not because I think it's bad, but the temptation to just not be on your phone when the movie is slow, I think is too high. So like the average viewer is just going to lose the immersive experience by not watching it in the theater.
See, and I had the opposite effect where I was like, I don't think it gains much by being in the theater. Because like I was expecting a lot of really cool visuals, and it does have some.
Oh, it's got
But
some beautiful moments.
but like not enough to the point where I'd tell someone, "Hey, you got to watch this in the movie theater."
What I'm saying is, I don't know. I guess if I'm gonna watch a 3 hour fucking movie, I am a lot more okay doing that in a theater than I am at home because I'm like, well, I'm going out. It's an event. It's a thing I'm gonna go do. But if I'm just at home and I gotta sit my ass on the sofa for 3 hours, that's rough. That's a big ask.
That's what Dune's asking of me.
You should have saw those in theaters, bro.
I guess.
I saw the first one not in the theater, and I was like, fuck, I should watch this movie in the theaters.
Well, we only have actually we all only have like one TV show, huh? So I guess I will go first on TV shows. I watched La Oficina, which is Mexico's version of The Office that is streaming on Amazon, but only in Mexico. And it's really fucking good, actually.
If I
So
watched it subtitled, would it lose any value?
I don't know because I didn't watch it sometimes, but I imagine so because it literally is like a Mexican version of it's not just like, oh, we did The Office and it's in Spanish. It's this is very rooted in Mexican culture. Like the Michael Scott character, which I honest to God, I didn't think anyone could do it. I didn't think anyone can be like can pull off the Michael Scott being charming and incompetent, but like likable and also unlikable. Like the Michael Scott is a character that I didn't think could be replicated. So I had zero hope for this guy pulling it off. But goddamn, not just the actors, but whoever made this show, you can tell that they love The Office. Like every ounce of it feel like it has that same energy while also being like Mexican and different. And I don't know, it's just really good. Like if you like The Office, this is just more of that, but with enough homages that you can like point and be like, ah, yes, that's good, but enough differences that it's like, okay, this is keeping it fresh, and I like it because it's not a paper company; it's a soap company, and a couple of the episodes are like rehashes of like the most popular Office episodes, but with their own like little twist. And I don't know, it was a really good show, and maybe it is because I speak Spanish and so I understood everything and I got all the jokes and everything. But it's I don't know. It's just it was really good. If you like The Office, you're gonna like La Oficina, and it probably is still funny with subtitles. It's just not gonna be as funny. It's like saying, uh, like how you like the Chainsaw Man dub and you didn't like the sub as much.
Well, yeah, what I'm saying is like a lot of the Denji's personality, who he actually is as a person, doesn't fully translate if you watch it in Japanese subtitled, but you get it in English. You know
Yeah,
exactly what type of guy he is in English.
and that's exactly what probably happens with Spanish here, where the subtitled one is still good, but it's not gonna be the same. So yeah, but if you want to watch it, you need a VPN. So is it considered stealing if you literally don't have access to it in your country?
I don't know, take that up with the
And you're using
FDA
it
or
on
whatever.
a service that you do pay for, like Amazon?
I think it's because like they have streaming rights for certain things in certain countries. So like they can't put it in your region because they don't have the rights to distribute it in your region. So maybe I don't fucking know.
I was also gonna say, I think it just depends too on like what's actually gonna do good and what's gonna like do bad. And not to say that it would do bad in America, but I think it's just like one thing since it is like newer. Because I think didn't it come out this year?
I believe so, yeah.
And so like maybe they are testing it out and maybe it will actually come to the US. Who knows? But maybe they're kind of doing a trial run. But going back though, I will say this. So I ended up seeing like different clips of it. I think before you had watched it. And I will say this, like you can still get something out of it if you're like reading it subtitled. And so I was like watching TikTok subtitles and those are the worst. Those things are like never right. Anyway, so I was still able to get a lot of it out or a lot out of it with like reading that, but then also hearing it too. And so I will say this, there are going to be like inside jokes or just different ways of saying things in Mexico that someone might not get, but like you'll still understand like what's going on too. And it will still be funny. But then there are going to be certain things where you're going to be like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Well,
so like jokes like popes shitting in the woods just aren't going to translate properly.
Okay, specifically, like one of the
Beds
jokes that I
being
saw,
shit, dogs being fucked.
one of the jokes that I saw where I was like, oh my god, okay, see, like this would hit with like people our age is the Michael Scott character. His name is Jerónimo Ponce el Tercero. Is they're doing this little festival type thing, and there's a little stand, and there's a guy who he he was gay, but then he went to church and they fixed him, so he's not gay anymore. And he's there, and the other person at that little stand with him is the hot younger girl that like the tech savvy one, the one that's not as old as everyone else, but like she's the hot girl of the office, I guess, or whatever. And they're both there, and the Michael Scott character goes up to like introduce them to whoever he's talking to, and he's like, ah, yes, and over here we have her. She's like, she's like the Sailor Moon person. And then he like looks over at the guy who's gay but not gay, and he's like, and this guy, he's more like a Ranma 1/2 situation going on over here. And I was like, I didn't expect. I know those are
That's
both
such a
old.
fucking wild poll that I don't know. Were those shows hot in Mexico?
Bro, anime's hot in Mexico in general.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like,
Because I feel
Sailor
like
Moon,
those.
huge.
I like both of those shows, and they do have a lot of presence. They're just not like. I just don't think they're like a part of pop culture anymore, and at least
In
in
Mexico,
America.
they are.
They are, yeah. I was like, even still Dragon Ball Z, like the first one, you know what I mean?
Dragon Ball Z
That
will
still goes
endure.
hard.
My kids will be watching Dragon Ball Z
But
when
yeah,
they decide to fucking clone me in 30 years.
I saw that, and I was like, okay, so the writers are like our age. It's cool, good stuff, good stuff. But see, those jokes, like that hits in any language. So I'm like, okay, not everything's like specifically region based. It's just some things like the culture and all that. It's gonna be a little different, but it's still pretty good. I like it. It was a crazy pull though. I was like, hey, I'm okay. But all right, Jake, you it looks like you finally finished something.
I finished
Well,
season 4 of My Hero Academia.
how
This,
far are you
this
in it, real quick, Stephanie? Like,
Okay, so I got to season 3 and then I just stopped watching it. And then I got basically the ending spoiled. And I was like, for real? That's what happens to him?
well,
So I
Jake
have
hasn't
beef
gotten
with
there
it
yet, but
anyway.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll just keep it to myself.
yeah, how about you do that?
You stopped at the right time, though. Technically,
I don't, dude. I stopped watching My Hero Academia in the middle of season 4 because the school festival arc was just real fucking boring. But I was like, you know what? I just need to sit down and I just need to get through it because people tell me that the later seasons are fire and they're good. So I just need to fucking strap in and watch this shit. And this is like one of the worst seasons of anime I've ever seen in my fucking life. Like the first half of season 4, whatever, I think it's like mid, but I don't think it's like garbage. But the fucking school festival arc that happens right after is objectively dog shit. Like I was like literally questioning whether or not I even liked anime anymore. I was like, bro, I'm so bored. I'm getting mad that my time is being wasted. This is such a nothing fucking arc. Like literally nothing happens. What the fuck are we doing here? It felt like a filler season, but isn't this shit in the manga too?
oh no, I didn't read that shit.
It's bad. It was really fucking bad. I was like, oh man, I used to think this fucking was like the shonen goat at the time. What the fuck happened? But I endured. I braced. I got through it. And then My Hero Academia season 5 starts off actually pretty good. And I was like, oh, okay, so the show's fine. It's just like one of the most violently shit arcs I've ever seen in a fucking anime injected in the middle of the show.
Did you finish season 5?
No. I think I got like halfway through. And I liked what I've seen so far. I just haven't gone back to it. But bro, I almost tapped out. I was so close, bro. And I was like asking my sister, and she's like, "This, you know what? You introduced me to this show. It's my favorite fucking show. I think you're stupid." And I was like, "Well, did you watch season 4?" And she's like, "No, actually, I just spoiled the whole thing for myself on Wikipedia." And I was like, "What the fuck are we doing here?"
Wait, so she didn't watch season 5 either?
No,
Oh, season 5 is so good.
she watched like season 1, 2, and like I think 3, and then she spoiled the rest of this shit on Wikipedia.
Mm.
And I was like talking to my friends about it, who also have seen all of it, and I was like, "So this is dog shit, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, I would watch TikToks and have it playing in the background." And I was like, I think maybe I'm just like watching media wrong.
No,
It
you're
feels like
watching media right.
it feels like media that was designed to play on the background while you're on your fucking phone. This is my fault for giving media my full attention.
There is stuff like that, but not at that time.
But honestly, I would just skip the school festival arc. You can just do that. I don't think anything is gained by watching that fucking arc. You could just not do it. This is a fucking. You know how they have like Dragon Ball watch lists and fucking Naruto watch lists? Yeah, somebody make a fucking watch list for My Hero Academia season 4. You can skip that shit.
Well, we'll see what happens to the what is it he wanted to be? The best superhero?
He wanted.
Best the
I don't think he even needed to be or wants to be the number one hero. I think he just wants to be like All Might. He just wants to be as virtuous and good, and he wants to help people. I think that's what his goal is.
We'll follow Deku on his journey.
I mean, not to be that guy, but like the first episode, like what he says isn't that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't remember what he said. That's what I was saying. What is it he said?
I think he just said he wants to fucking help people like All Might. I think that's it.
I thought he says like this is the story of how I became the best or something.
Yeah,
number
I was
one
about
hero.
to say.
Yeah, or the number one
Yeah.
hero. There you go.
I was like, it's not even like a One Piece thing that I want to be king of the pirates. It's
It's
I'm
I
telling you this
am or I
story.
was. Yeah,
Yeah.
how I got there.
And I got to
definitely
fight.
don't think, and I don't want Luffy to be king of the pirates. It's
Got in a fight with a fucking 30-year-old man who looks like he's 45, dating a fucking 23-year-old woman who looks like she's 12. What a dog shit season.
the drama.
We weren't talking about the director.
Yeah. Yeah, just skip that arc, bro. Just shelf it. It's fine.
I wish anybody would have just given me that advice.
You don't like when people spoil things for you, but I'm pretty sure that even before, when I watched it, I complained about that arc. It just
I'm just saying, like
2-3 years before you finally got around to it.
I'll be honest with you, bro. You can skip half of season 1 of Demon Slayer. It's fine. I'll make the watch list for you. But even the worst that fucking Demon Slayer has to offer is still way better than anything going on in that fucking season. It's crazy.
Yeah, Jake needs to not watch Solo Leveling, actually, because then he's going to be like, damn, why can't everything just be like straight to the vein like this?
Ganshi Kuda, bro. It's just a good shonen. I was like, damn. Okay, thanks. Yeah, I love me a good 7 out of 10. Give me that. Maybe a hard 7, light 8. Yeah, sure. Give me. I'll eat that shit up.
Well, that was My Hero Academia Demon Slayer Gacha Kuda hour.
I only bitched for like 5 minutes. Fuck you.
No, I know. I wasn't saying like it took long. I'm saying. What do you have, Stephanie? I'm curious whether that's a show or a reality TV thing.
So my last thing, or one of my last things, I guess, is it's a show called Boyfriend on Demand. So it's a K drama, and it came out this year, and it is just wild, crazy. And so I guess, do you all have any experience with like dating sims, anything like that?
I did when I was like a teenager,
whatever that one was,
and then
the
I gained
daddy one.
self awareness, and it ruined the genre for me forever.
What's that one that both of y'all have played too? I think you talked about it on the show.
Bountiful Boyfriend or fucking
Oh,
Katawa Shoujo or
I think
Persona.
you
Dream
played with
Daddy.
Stephanie. There you go.
Oh,
That one. Played a bit of that one.
and a Dream Daddy's almost like a parody of those games, though. It's not almost. It is. So I don't know if it really counts.
Why don't you tell us what that experience is gonna amount?
All right. So one of the reasons why I just like bring that up is that basically it's kind of like based off of that, except this is in a future where technology is just ahead of its time. It is basically like virtual reality, but like way different. And so you have your protagonist, and basically she works for I don't even know, like a webtoon place. But I guess not, like a thing that creates manhwas. And basically, like she just broke up with like her boyfriend. And when I say just broke up, it's been like 2 years. Like homie is already gonna
Oh,
propose to somebody else.
just barely.
and but she still talks about the breakup as if it like just happened. And she's really focused on work, and a lot of her friends are trying to get her to date. And she's like, I don't know if this is what I want. But so she's working with like all of these different, I guess, like basically these different artists for like these different manhwas and like different writers, everything like that. And there's this one particular that actually has like a really good manhwa. And basically, like she has to meet with this person, but they kind of suck at meeting deadlines. But they have a really good product, meaning that it's like very cliche. Like people really like it because they know what to expect. And they really like, I guess, like the male character in her story. And so the protagonist is like trying to meet these deadlines. And I guess there is this video game company that approaches like the main person in this show. And basically they're like, hey, do you want to try our product? It's actually based off of one of the artists that you're like helping right now with meeting deadlines. I think you would have like the best feedback, like just try it and see what it's like. And so she's like, I don't know if I really want to do this. And they're like, we will pay you for your feedback. So she's like, okay, I'll do this. And so basically, she gets a 30-day subscription to Boyfriend on Demand. And it is this virtual reality, like dating sim, basically. But it is like to another level. Like it is very personalized. You can do whatever you want. Like, and it also comes with like different bundles too. Like you can get all these different clothes, you can experience all these different dates, and you have like a plethora of people you can choose from, like over 900 people. And you can also experience like personalized dates. And so one of the things that I had sent over to Robert was like the different dates that she goes on and the different experiences. And so my question for both of you is, what is like your perfect date? Or what is a date where you're like, oh, this is like amazing?
Hold the fuck up. Is this the fucking plane one?
This is
Holy shit. I don't. Was that one of the dates?
That was one of the dates. That was one of the dates. But
Hey,
answer the
Jake,
question first and then I'll explain that.
what of these dates was a plane hijacking?
That's cool. That's fun. That's kinky. That's exotic.
Damn.
I
Here
could get
you
down
are
with
just
that.
giving
I know,
Okay,
bro.
going.
Fuck.
or go ahead.
Robert, tell me what your perfect date is, bro.
My
I'll tell
perfect
you
date.
what. I be dating for the past couple years. Holy shit. Go ahead.
I mean, are we talking first date or just like perfect date?
Okay, this is gonna be first date.
I would, argue first date is the criteria.
I feel like first dates shouldn't be wild. Like it should be basic thing, Just ideally going to a place where you can talk and you just get to know each other for a while. I feel like you don't really do anything fun or crazy first date because like you don't know enough about the person yet.
Yeah, this is gonna sound really gay, but I'm kind of in Robert's boat. Like, you go out, maybe you grab food or like a snack or like a coffee, and then you just have somewhere that's like good to like loiter. Because just like sitting down and then talking to someone or walking around and wandering around and talking to somebody for an extended period of time, that is my ideal first date. To me, that is like the best. Okay, let's grab a coffee and then go wander around the park. Cool, let's like fucking grab a fucking baked good and then go wander around the mall. Shit like that, so that way you could figure out if you like fuck with each other.
But now, like if it's not the first date, do we want like a fun answer? Like maybe this is the third date and you have a fucking simulation machine that caters to your every whim.
Bro, I'm not that complicated, bro. Like, I don't know. Hey, you want to watch this ass season of My Hero Academia? I'll make some popcorn. I'll put a pickle in it. I also have like a LaCroix and 2 Diet Dr. Peppers in my fridge. Would you like one of those 2?
Right, so fuck that. Stephanie, in this
Fuck you, bro.
there's a plane hijacking, right?
Yes, I'll get into that, but I guess you have to answer your own question.
So that's what I'm saying. So what you're saying is I don't know the parameters of the simulation or whatever, but you're saying I could like be like, oh, actually in this one, we went to a date to this one place, but then actually I used to be dating this fucking super spy chick, and her new boyfriend is upset, so he fucking kidnapped us, and now we're going on this crazy fucking adventure to try and escape from wherever he dumped us, and it could be like a fucking remote jungle in a different country, and I could live out like a Mission Impossible fucking scenario.
Yeah, basically.
I could be like, hey, for this date, why don't we live an episode of The Walking Dead and fucking like do a, because this is like you said virtual reality, right?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So we could fucking go through a zombie apocalypse. We could go see dinosaurs. We could do all sorts of crazy shit.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, girl, you want to come back to my apartment and play some Yu-Gi-Oh? I have the Duelist Kingdom decks.
Now I'm going on some Indiana Jones adventure, or I'm fucking ghost hunting, doing some Tomb Raider shit.
Bro, I feel like if like it was in a simulation and then she wanted to go to like a fucking safari hunt, it would fucking traumatize me. Even if it was fake.
I mean, if you prefer to fucking summon Exodia.
Oh, actually, yeah, let's just play Yu-Gi-Oh in the simulation. That sounds way better. I could threaten to kill myself like Kabe did if I lose.
I don't know. What's yours, Stephanie? What would you do?
Oh man, I feel like since I've like watched the series, I guess I'll throw some of these other things out there. So you're not like dating real people. So just again, these are like programmable like people that you can choose from in this game.
Oh, so it
And then
really is
there's
a
like
dating
another
sim.
Yeah, you're literally dating your AI Snapchat chatbot.
yeah, I was about to say you literally have like an AI boyfriend, AI girlfriend.
That's less fun.
But here
She's just
is
playing
like
video games then.
so she is playing video games. And that's like one of the premises. That's why they wanted to get her input. And I don't know if you all know who this is. It's okay if you don't, but his name is like, I think, is it Silas? So if you don't know who he is, he's actually an AI boyfriend. And this app had like blown up in, I believe it was South Korea and then like a lot of different countries. And basically he's like this AI boyfriend. And like a woman fell in love with him and like bought a whole billboard to advertise the app out of her own money because that's how much she loved him and that's how much she felt like he I don't know, like changed her life for like the better.
You loved him,
So
so she wanted to share him with the world.
it's basically and so with this whole I guess like K-drama, it like kind of looks at that. And so it's a little bit different than, of course, like what we have now, because you get to choose who you want to be with. And it's also like programmable. So there will be another AI assistant like helping you choose somebody. And you have like a whole background that you go through. So your whole environment changes. And so one of the first people that she meets is like basically the CEO of a company. And so she's like on the beach and then she saves him from drowning. And that's how they meet. But that's not their first date. And so then later when she comes back to the game, they like meet in a hotel and he's like, "Hey, wait a minute. You're the one that saved me." And so they build up a rapport to go on dates. And after you hit a certain amount of time spent with like one person, you can receive like voice calls, text messages, like all of this stuff, even when you're not in the game. And then you continue to build rapport.
And you know what's really funny to me is I pitched literally this to Robert as an actual video game idea, so I could charge people money and get rich.
Well, let me tell you, in this K drama, it works. Like women like go crazy. They're like, "Oh my gosh, this is like the best thing ever." And of course, right, there are a top 10 out of the like 900 plus that you can choose from. And then there's even a part in this game where you can actually get a personalized like boyfriend or partner designed specifically for you in what you're wanting. And so with this whole series, it like goes through like her breakup, how she's like basically coping with this like video game, all the things that she's going through with work, and then her finding potential romance and how that's interesting. And there is like a love interest that is in real life too, and her having to go through all of these things. And I just thought it was like wild to see like all the different dates that she goes on. And there is a point where she basically starts off as a flight attendant and she thinks this is kind of messed up. She thinks that the love interest that she has in this is supposed to be a foreigner, but really he's the one that's hijacking the plane. And so she's like, this is not romantic. This is not what I like. Like, I don't like this adrenaline. And so she like goes out of the game and she's like, okay, we're going to like try this again. Maybe it'll pop up somewhere else. And then she goes back and it's the same thing where basically she like meets a secret agent and that's his whole thing. Like that's supposed to be the love interest, but he keeps on getting her into like terrible stuff. So then she again like walks away from that character. I was like, that's just crazy. Because once I think about like dating sims, like for video games, it is like very one dimensional. Like I don't think I've played a dating sim where they're like, oh, here's what you can do to like, I don't know, satisfy like all these different kinks that you could have, I guess. I was like, dang, that's like
Playing the
crazy.
wrong one.
Hijacking a plane as a kink is a little fucking wild, bro. I think you like need to go to therapy instead.
I mean, I would agree to a certain extent. I will say this, right? Like she's
Computer
not hijacking the plane.
simulate a therapist
I guess
interaction with a fucking
what I'm saying
Honestly,
with
bro,
this,
yeah, a girl that'll just sit there and then listen to you yap about your problems non-judgmentally. Yeah, sure, give me that sim. Let me do that.
that's just
could
called
be one of
therapy.
the options. But anyway, what I'm saying with this though is that like adrenaline sinking is a thing and it can also be a kink too. And that is a whole nother topic we don't have to get into right now. But it's kind of like looking at some of these things where I was like, wow, like dang, you really can do a lot. And it's crazy that she gets to go through like basically all these different dates or people through this video game to the point where she ends up like buying a subscription because she likes it so much. Anyway, I thought it was
Mm.
crazy.
Are women okay?
Good stuff. Are we okay with
I mean, like,
how
this
men
had to be
treat
written by a
women?
woman, right?
You think an AI thing where a girl hasn't gotten over her boyfriend in 2 years was written by a woman?
I mean, women also have AI boyfriends, and I also don't think they're okay, but I'm just double checking.
Mm. I don't know who wrote it, but the director is named Kim Jong Shik, and it's a dude.
I mean, I guess if this is what they want, like, put them in the metaverse.
I mean, I will just throw all this out there, right? I think people cope in a lot of different ways, and I also think they like to experience different things. Like, virtual reality is not my thing because it makes my head hurt, but I don't know, I think this would be, like, an interesting video game to actually play and just to be like, "Oh, dang." It doesn't mean, though, that it would be something to, like, supplement actually finding a real relationship, though.
I feel like that's what people would use it for, though, right? Have you seen fucking AI and AI girlfriends, boyfriends? They're fucking insane. It's crazy.
I had a coworker at O'Reilly that had one of those just for fun, just to
Like,
check it
Just for
out.
funsies.
there are
And I
people
was
that
just
like
like,
are dating real people, and then they still have a fucking AI boyfriend or girlfriend.
crazy.
Like, how hard is it? Like, they're like, well, like, my AI tells me sweet things on a regular basis, and I was like, can you just not ask your significant other to do that? Hey, could you be sweet to me more often? Could you just not communicate that to your partner? Could you compliment me more? It validates me and I like it. Okay, sure thing. No problem, babe. I think you're a first-rate duelist with a third-rate deck.
Yeah, but what if they don't compliment you after you asked? What if you communicated it and those needs weren't being
Then break up with them, bro. Fuck it.
That's scary. You know what's not scary? Chat AI. I don't know if that's even a real one. I was
I
gonna
don't
do a
know.
whole bit, but I don't know real chat AI bots. There's probably one called Chat AI.
I don't know. I feel like logistically, what like I would get out of this fucking VR game is like I wouldn't even give a shit about the dating sim aspect. I just feel like, yeah, going to a rave would be nice. Yeah, fuck it. I'll go do some rock climbing where like I don't have the real consequence of death. Yeah, sure, fuck it. Fucking racing motorcycles might be fun. I wouldn't even care about the date aspect. It would just be nice to like do shit I haven't done.
I mean, that's fair. I think what is a little bit interesting about this is that specifically there's a point where the main character, she's able to go back basically to like her college experience and be able to reflect on the breakup because they had known each other for a really long time. And she was actually able to make progress with that. Like she was able to heal a little bit. And of course, right, other healing came from like real people, but that like helped her. And there is like just interesting research on how like virtual reality can actually help with like exposure and stuff like that, and how it can help with like a bunch of stuff like PTSD, OCD, like so many things.
Stephanie, I
And
don't mean to
so,
be rude, but if I go and pay like $300 for a therapy session and homie pulls out a MetaQuest 3, I'm leaving.
I mean, that's fair, right? And again, everybody gets to choose whatever treatment they want and what's going to work best for them. But I guess just because like certain individuals don't like something doesn't mean that it's not going to be effective for others. And so, and I'm not saying that this should be a thing, but there's this other person on TikTok and he's like a therapist and I guess he's like based out of I think it's either Texas or Arizona, something like that. But he again like specializes in men's health. And his whole thing is that he will have this like golf simulator, I guess. And then he'll just have like men in his office, put that in quotation marks, and they will play golf together. And that's how he gets them to open up. I'm not
This is
saying that's right. I'm not saying it's
literally
wrong.
a bit and haha, you clowns. Like fucking straight up.
It's not a bit, Jake. It's a real thing.
Real thing.
Bro, I'm just imagining like confessing, like, yeah, bro, I just got some childhood trauma or something, you know, I just really need to get over some like early childhood relationship issues. And he's like, don't worry, I got this. And then he just fucking plugs you into Resident Evil 7 in VR. Here you go, bud. Use this to heal.
I mean, I will just like throw this out there, right? It can't just be like any game that you're playing. But there has been a lot of research with like D&D, Minecraft, and again, like even the golf simulator actually has been shown to like help individuals. And it's not everybody, like I said. If that's not what you want for treatment, you never have to do that. But I think it is really interesting on how again, these are just tools. It doesn't mean that they're going to be an end it or break it or solve all your problems, but it can help. And so that's one of the things that I thought was interesting about the show. And it was a different way to like look at what dating sims can do and how like healing can happen in unconventional ways. And I get that we're having this conversation now, but like 20 years from now, maybe we're going to be like completely different with a lot of treatment modalities. Same thing, like looking back 50 years ago when we were like, hey, cocaine is what's going to help us all.
I think they were onto something.
And also
I
looking
know. I
back
guess
at 50 years with it being like military training and how we still use some of that simulation today. And I
I
think
just
that's
might be flippantly stupid, but it kind of feels like common sense that having a hobby you like would help you like mentally improve.
I think the point is, Jake, that a lot of men don't think therapy would help or think it's dumb. So if they're tricked into, oh yeah, I'm just chilling, because that is therapy. When you're hanging out with your friends and you're just kind of like talking, but you're technically doing something. It's what it is.
Oh, I guess if you do it with somebody else. Okay, I see the point. I thought it was literally just like, we're going to have you play Minecraft by yourself for a while. Not
no,
like the
no,
therapist is
No,
in the
no,
room while you're fucking playing Minecraft. I thought it was just like, yeah, man, have you heard of Counter-Strike?
no.
Hop on.
Okay, that makes more sense. No, yeah, most definitely you're doing it together. So there can be like for one more conversations with one another. And of course, right, that's when you can also bond with another person. And again, right, I'm not one to speak about a man's experience just because I'm not a man, but I have heard that a lot of men don't feel connected with other men. And that is a way to like to have that safe bond with another man in the room with you, right? And for you to feel comfortable with sharing your feelings and stuff like that.
Yeah, Jake. Haven't you
Again,
heard? Haven't you heard people say men created gaming so they could be on the phone with other men the whole night because just calling up your homie is gay?
I'm not gonna. I think there is like a problem of like once you get out of high school, if you like don't have a job where you can make friends, you're kind of fucked. Like gaming is like literally the only other place you could like go and meet other people and have friends. But even then, it's not like an in-person connection.
There's actually so many other, like, you can go to clubs. You can go, like, there's things, Jake.
I don't know, bro. If I'm at I've talked to people at the club before. It
No,
kind of feels like they don't want to be talked to.
I mean clubs as in like sanctioned clubs for certain hobbies.
Yeah,
As
the
in like,
expensive fucking country clubs and shit and golf clubs.
I'm saying go to a fucking one of those boards where they post shit, or go to your library and there will be clubs like, hey, we're a fishing club, hey, we're a knitting club, we're a reading club, and you go and then you meet people that way. Like
I don't know,
there's
man.
other
That sounds
options other
pretty
than gaming.
gay. In fact, I think I'm just gonna hang out by myself with my male loneliness instead.
Just saying,
Do you think I
might
want to
not
pull
be
up with the
about it.
homies and knit?
I'm saying there's something for you. Like, there's board game clubs, there's card game clubs.
I wasn't expecting this go
Yeah,
here.
this fucking
But
spiraled out of control. But yes, it does sound like an interesting perspective and take on this show.
yeah, so I would watch it again. There are a lot of funny points too, like I mentioned, just with like how extreme some things are. And again, they're all just experiences that she goes through, which I think is cool. And I also like that she like basically works for like a webtoon place, which I think is really awesome.
I'm assuming they would just be a comic publisher.
Yeah, but like some of the I guess like some of the colors that are used are like very not not the same, but very similar to like what webtoons I guess colors are, and even like their shop and stuff like that. And so I was like, dang, they definitely had a specific one in mind. So, but anyway, would recommend. It was nice.
Okay, that's Boyfriend on Demand. And since Jake had such a horrible time with media this month, and he decided to start reading, why don't you tell us about some of the books you read, Jake?
All right, I read some shit. I was so disenchanted with media that I was like, you know what? Let me give something else a shot. Let me read with my eyes that shit that I think is lame and stupid. And what I've discovered is women are in fact not okay, and the written word has a lower barrier to entry than any other form of media, so there's actually a lot more slop. However,
I have some things to say about that before
correct.
your
What?
however.
Yeah, go ahead.
What do you mean it has a lower barrier of entry than anything else? Every form of media has that same fucking thing. Look at all the slop that's in any fucking gaming
Bro,
thing.
you need to
Nintendo
know
Switch
how to
or
you need to know how to do art, you need to know how to fucking program, you need to know how to publish. There's a lot of shit you got to do to make a video game. Same with movies. You got to get a fuck ton of people together usually to make a fucking movie. There's a lot of shit you got to do in order to make a fucking animation, video game, movie, TV show. A book. I mean, yeah, if you got a fucking at least a grade 12 education, you could probably write a fucking book. And most people do have that.
and you think specifically it's women who
Oh no, I just said that because I got a library card so I could check out books at my local library. And then I went to the librarian recommendations and it's all like romance slop. It's like tall, dark, and handsome barista man and like hockey player, ice skater romance. He's so tough and like my DM is hot and I want to sleep with him, but I don't know how to. He makes me feel so alive when we're role playing. I don't know how to express that. It's like it's all that shit, bro. It's fucking crazy.
so you're putting your librarian on blast is what you're saying.
Yes, I've went to multiple libraries. They're all like that. You know the fucking romance section you see that all have the same fucking vector art style when you walk into a Barnes and Noble? Those are also all of your librarians' picks. And I'm just like, oh, you guys just like need better smut, I think, or hobbies, I don't know, or relationships, something. Something has gone horribly wrong. I'm not sure how to fix it, nor do I really care. I'm just saying, librarians' recommendations, kind of ass. However, Terry Pratchett is an author I've been staring at it a long time because I like Dungeons and Dragons. And a lot of modern D&D takes a lot of inspiration from Terry Pratchett and his books. Especially the Discworld series of novels. For the uninformed, Discworld is basically a setting where the planet is a gigantic disc resting on the backs of 4 elephants standing on a gigantic turtle flying through space.
Turtles all the way down, bro.
And it's a very D&D. I don't know, it's the closest thing I think I can relate to it is like the setting literally feels like the same setting as like Shrek. It's like fairy tale parody land, but like the world has enough logic to it to make logistical sense. And based on a YouTuber's recommendation, the first book I picked up in the Discworld series of novels is The Amazing Maurice and His Educated Rodents. It is like technically like a young adult novel / kids book, but I don't give a fuck. I liked it. And it's about this cat named Maurice, and he's running a grift. He's got this kid, and he's like, hey man, you know how to play the flute. I know some rats who talk. So here's how we do this. We waltz into a town. We start a fuss about a plague happening. And then we just have the rats go in and cause all sorts of fucking mayhem. And then you come in, and then you offer to Piper the rats out of town. And then we split the proceeds. And how does that sound? And the kid has nothing better to do, so he's like, yeah, sure, fuck it. So they have done many a grifts, and this book starts when they're like on one of their last grifts. Because the mice don't really like doing this shit because it's dangerous work. And they think it's kind of morally dubious. The kid also thinks it's kind of fucking morally dubious. So they're like, one last job. We're gonna pull this shit off and then we're just gonna go our separate ways. And intrigue ensues.
Mm.
But it's a really fun adventure book. I mean, I like that there is interesting, neat world building going on. Like, I could tell that the Discworld is a big, open fucking thing from reading this book. The world really does feel super fleshed out. But also Terry Pratchett, even though it's a kid's book, Terry Pratchett just injects, like, violence and philosophical horror into the fucking book, which I fuck with. A fucking little rat staring at itself in a mirror, trying to figure out what it means to be a person, and like discovering spirituality and having a fucking existential crisis about what happens to them after they die. He doesn't know what to call it other than, yeah, what happens to the thing behind your eyes when you die? And everybody else is like, I don't know, we're fucking rats. And also the horror of seeing a non-intelligent rat that you can't talk to or reason with. So like they just have to lock them up or kill them. Like it's fucked. And then fucking Maurice developing a conscience and like understanding that he's now developing a sense of guilt and he doesn't like it. He doesn't fuck with it. And he still has all of his memories of being a feral fucking cat and all the things he's killed and eaten. And he's like, but it was a survival, bro. And he's like, but if they could talk, I don't think I would do it. And he's like, what if they could talk? And I just never gave him the chance, bro. Oh, fuck, bro. Uh-oh. But yeah, it's basically like a dark fairy tale. There's also like a lot of violence against children in this fucking show. Or in this fucking book. It's kind of wild. Where like one of the characters has like a copy of the Grimm's fairy tales, or at least understands like stories, and she's like, yeah, man, don't worry, we're gonna get out of the situation, no problem. See, like eventually we'll like point out the evildoers, and then like a constable's gonna show up and arrest these fucking guys, and then she just gets knocked the fuck out. And then they're just very quickly aware that they're not in a fairy tale book, that they are actually in super danger. But it's good. I am super stoked to read more Terry Pratchett because I do love this book. I was recently informed that there is a movie adaptation of this book, and it is absolute dog shit. Don't even bother.
It's so dog shit that they announced a sequel.
Oh my fucking god!
And apparently, a lot of people like it. And it's got an amazing cast.
It does have an amazing cast. That's why I had higher expectations for it. But like, they take everything I like about the book, the violence, the existential horror, the dread, the moral and philosophical questions, and remove it and make it a like movie you could take your 4 to 8 year old to instead. Because these topics might be a little bit too heavy for a kiddo. We don't want them thinking about this stuff. But yeah, I think next on the docket I'm going to read Mort, which is about the Grim Reaper and his like trainee apprentice. So hopefully that's a fun read.
I was like, the name Terry Pratchett seems very familiar to me, but then
Terry Pratchett's a very well-known fantasy author, specifically for Discworld.
Okay, because every time I look anything up on Terry Pratchett, I'm like, I don't know any of this stuff. Why is the name big? But
I was about to say he's also dead.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Discworld has like 50 books in it. Like some of them are like one-offs, like The Amazing Maurice and His Educated Rodents. Like, I think there's references to the shit that happens in this book in other books, but like there's only one book with these characters in it. But I do like the variety though, because like yeah, there's like spy thrillers, there's like heist novels, there's like general like wizard fucking stories. There's like, it does feel like a D&D setting with a lot of shit constantly going on all over the place. That's why it's so fun and interesting. And then there's all these books that have all these different genres. And then there's series of books. Like this book is actually a sequel to this book. That's actually a sequel to this book. Like I think there's 3 or 4 books on the Grim Reaper. And Mort is just the first one in the series that focuses on him. But also he's everywhere because he has to go pick up people who are dying or dead. So he just shows up in a lot of other books. See, it does feel like Terry Pratchett's own D&D world, and it's actually very fun to get a glimpse and play in it, I guess.
See, hot take, I don't think it's a real hot take. I think most people agree with this, but I rather enjoy a lot of the media that Neil Gaiman has made. I think that the stuff he created is really cool, but I never got into Good Omens. Because by the time I was going to get into Good Omens, all the shit came out, and I was like, well. But I didn't know that Good Omens was co-written by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. So,
But yeah, as I said, I like his stuff so far. So, I mean, if you're in the mood for fantasy adventure, I guess, or I guess fantasy intrigue, or fantasy plus insert genre here, go ahead and give it a shot. These books are really funny, though. Like, motherfucker knows how to write a joke.
okay.
Anybody else read anything, or am I the only one who partook in the cup of literature?
I think I think we all read stuff, but you're the only one that read. No, actually, Stephanie, you also read a book. I don't know if you're going to talk about it though.
Yeah, I'll probably just talk about the one.
I was like, I am going to talk about literature, but I'll save it for after.
You should go next.
All right, fine. As y'all may know, Chainsaw Man, the manga, is over. It's done. It's finished. So they say. And a lot of people are very upset with how it ended. I am included in these people. Part 1 is one of the greatest pieces of media literature I've ever read. I think it's fantastic in all aspects. The world building, the ideas, the way it's told, everything, chef's kiss. And then part 2 went in a different direction, and I was very excited to see what it did. A lot of world building, a lot of crazy ideas. Everything was really good. And it came to a conclusion that a lot of people aren't happy with. I'm not going to spoil anything because obviously some of you might still read it. I think that all those people, because there's a lot of people who, like, you'll see a bunch of posts right now. Can't believe I spent all this money, and they're showing like listings of them selling their merch and their manga. That's so fucking stupid. Like, I think it's so dumb when people do that, and it's like, I don't. You like this thing, you liked it enough to go purchase these things, and now all of a sudden, because you don't agree with the ending, you're throwing all of it away. That's a stupid idea to me. I don't agree with that. I think that's dumb. There's a bunch of theories out there. There's a bunch of like explanations of why this ending's bad or why it's good or why it's all these things. Reading into it deeper or not reading into it deeper. And I've seen a lot of them. Secretly, deep down, I don't think it's over yet. I think he can come back to the series whenever he wants. And there's a way to do it to show that he had always left that option open. But as far as anything official and anything's concerned, it is over. It's done. And he's not working on anything about it anymore. The one thing I'll say though is because you guys have gotten this far. You guys watched the Chainsaw Man Reze movie, and most of the people that listen to this already watched it and know what that's about. There's a part that we already talked about it, where Makima and Denji go and they watch like 10 movies at the movie theater, and they only end up liking one. And I'm surprised that out of all these fucking explanations and like videos that I've seen people make, no one has like said this, so I'll be the one to say it. One of the things that happens in the series, and it's not a big thing, is there is the argument later of whether it's worth it, whether watching all those bad movies in order to get like the one good movie is worth it, and yada yada. And at some point, the question is asked: do you think that bad media should exist? That, like, bad movies should exist, or should they just not exist? And the point that the manga part 1 is trying to say is, and I firmly believe it too, is yes, like, you can't have good media without bad media. And it's a big thing that doesn't just happen in Chainsaw Man. Another favorite of Fujimoto's works of mine, which is Goodbye Eri, literally starts with someone made a movie and everyone hated the ending. And it's the main character going like, well, fuck you. This is my movie, and I ended it the way I wanted to end it. And so, me loving Fujimoto's work and everything, I can't look at those things and not say, hey, you know what? I may not agree. I may think this ending sucks. I may not like it. But you know what? For something good to exist, something bad has to exist. I got part one. I also got part two. I'm not one of those fans that's like, fuck the whole series, fuck all this, yada yada. Even though this thing that I spent a long fucking time of my life really being really passionate about didn't end the way I wanted it to, I still am grateful for it and think it's as a one can't exist without the other. So
Yeah, this all fucking sounds like cope to me. Have you considered, Robert, that maybe you're just not creatively or emotionally intelligent enough to understand the ending of Chainsaw Man Part 2?
it's really just out here trying to piss everyone off. Jake, have you considered that you're not intelligently fucking smart enough to understand season 4 of fucking My Hero Aka?
I did consider this, and then I realized that no, actually, I'm right. Anybody who liked this shit is wrong and isn't allowed to have an opinion. We should put those people into gas chambers.
See, and I have that same exact opinion you have about the ending of Chainsaw Man, except for the part where I'm like, anyone who differs from my opinion is wrong and should be put into a gas chamber. I think they're allowed to have those opinions, and good for them. I still think it's a dog shit ending, and
That
that's fine.
sounds like a lack of conviction. And I think you might be a pussy and a loser, and you should stand by stronger on your opinions.
No, because you know what? If someone read that and they loved it and they're like, "Oh my god, this is perfect," I'm good for fucking you. I'm glad you got that out of it. I didn't, but I'm glad someone did, even if I personally think they're wrong. They also think I'm wrong, so it works out. Chainsaw Man's still fucking good. Like I said, y'all are gonna watch the new arc that's gonna come out because they're working on it right now, and it's gonna be peak and it's gonna be fucking amazing, and everyone's gonna be like, ah. And then this time, instead of fans being like, just you wait, it's gonna be more of a somber thing, like a just you wait. Still, here we are. It was good. It was a good experience overall. I still now more than ever because I used to at the beginning I was like, you know what, just read part one, don't read part two, fuck it. Now I'm like, no, you know what, read all of it, prove me fucking wrong, Jake. You too, Stephanie. Y'all need to read it, and y'all need to be like, yeah, you know what, Robert, I think you're just stupid. I think you just don't get it. I think you're just
Nah, I'm gonna watch
media
it.
illiterate. They're I honestly don't think they're animating part two.
Then my opinion of the anime will be really high.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
if they just do part one. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was about to say, I think I'll read it maybe. Not like now, but I did see like a lot, I guess, that had came out like when the ending was released. Of, like probably way too much about the manga, so maybe it would be good to just be like, okay, here's what my thoughts on it, here's what it could be. But I don't know. I don't know if that's something I want to get into right now, so it will be on my
Yeah,
backlog.
Jake's like, have you considered you just don't get it? Jake, I coped so hard that I took every fucking angle. I spent a week being in a fucking spiral, going through every single fucking thing, trying to tell myself why it's a good ending. And my conclusion that I came to was there has to be bad media for there to be good media. So that should tell you everything it needs to tell you about that.
I don't know, man. I can't wait. Like, I might just like read all of part two just so I can be like, actually, it's good. Actually, you just don't get it.
Oh no, 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 no. Don't get me wrong. While you're reading it, you are gonna be like, actually, this is good. Actually, this is fire. Actually, I like this direction. Oh my god, what is going on? What is he cooking? I want you to get there. I want you to feel that. And then
But also, I could just like believe you and just not. I can also just do that.
yeah, yeah, but what if
Hey,
I'm dumb
remember
and
when I
don't
was like,
understand
hey,
media?
man, you could stop at Kingdom Hearts 2. You could just stop.
Nah. And that's my biggest thing to why I think that there might still be more. Because there is actively a point where the cooking stops cooking.
Hey, bro, Persona 4, you don't have to play Golden, bro. You could just play 4 OG and leave it alone.
Look, man, all I'm saying, after everything's said and done, all I can say is thank you, Chainsaw Man. I I got a lot about it. I got a lot out of this. And I'm not gonna throw it all away because I don't like the end. Like everyone says, it's about the journey.
For me, it's absolutely not about the journey. I fucking hated Expedition 33 until the ending actually fucking surprised my expectations. If something ends like dog shit, I think that thing is dog shit. I don't know, like my fucking reptile brain doesn't like. If I think something is peak and then it ends like shit, that is worse to me than something being mid and then ending peak. I would consider the thing that was mid but had a peak ending better than the thing that was peak, but the last 10% was dog shit.
Then maybe, Jake, I'll say you're allowed to just stop at part 1. That's allowed.
Like, if I think the ending is actually that bad, I will just say, yeah, I don't like Chainsaw Man.
I'm just saying part 1 and part 2 are two completely separate things. So,
All right, Stephanie, what'd you read?
Right. I read a horror book, and it's called Diavola. And Robert Soul actually told me this. I guess it's like a pizza. It's also a pasta. And I think there's like another meaning too. But basically, it's just a horror book about a family going to Italy, and the villa that they stay at is haunted. And they're almost basically like warned that it's haunted. They're like, hey, whatever you do, don't go in the tower. Like, just don't even use the key. Like, there's nothing in there. You don't have to go in there. And so in this trip, or on this trip, I should say, there are, I guess, the 5 immediate family members. And then one of the sisters has her husband, and then the brother has their partner along for this trip. So, like, there's enough rooms. There's also like 2 daughters that are there too, or granddaughters, I should say, because the parents go too. So they're just like all these people. So they have enough space. They don't even need to go into the tower, but they still do. And then all this crazy shit happens. And I just think it is wild, where I'm like, none of you had to go through this. And basically it's just told from the main character's point of view of her experiencing like all of these like crazy things, but then her family being like so messed up. Like, things were messed up before they got to this villa, with all of her family members treating her like the black sheep. And basically saying like, oh yeah, she's like an elitist, like, oh yeah, she's so snobby or whatever. And one of the reasons that they think this is because she learned Italian on Duolingo. And they're like, who does that? Like,
wild.
yeah, I was just like, what the? And they're like, yeah, like, who can do that? Like, that's
So
just
she
crazy.
has notions, is what you're saying.
I guess she learns things very quickly. And so that's like one of the things, though, that they bring up as an example. And I was like, that is like the stupidest shit ever. But then they start like bringing up all of these other examples of reasons why they don't like her. And they say that, right? Or why they have a problem with her. And I'm just like, this is like your whole family. Like, that is your older sister saying that she doesn't like you because she thought you were trying to seduce your husband or her husband, whatever, right? It's just like kind of crazy. And there's like no evidence for it. It's just like a thought in her sister's head. And there's a point where her sister brings up prom. And mind you, they're like, all of them are in their like late 30s. And she brings up how during prom, her younger sister took her date. When the sister was with like somebody else, wasn't even near her date. And it was actually, I guess, the sister's best friend that took her date. But her sister still blames like the main character. And then her brother, which is her twin, literally thinks that she's cancer and is like, you're the like negative one. Like, there's actually not a haunting going on. It's because of your negative energy. And just like goes off, right? And then the mom, same thing. She's like, you're like so good at drawing, like you can do all these things, and you just like waste your potential, as they're still having her translate throughout this whole trip and do all of this crazy stuff. And then other crazier things are like brought up later on. And it was just like so terrible because the main character shares something like so personal, so serious with her twin brother. And he tells everybody. The whole family knows. And they're like very against what she did. And then they throw it in her face, even though none of them were there to like support her. And I was like, this is just a crazy book because it was more about how the family dynamics were the nightmare. Like that was
Maybe
the horror
the
for me.
real horror is having to spend a week with your family.
In Italy, I guess. Like, bruh. Anyway, but there actually is like horror elements. There is like a villain as to what is happening with all these things. All these things are there, but they're like heightened because of this like negative entity that they're having to try to get rid of, but not being able to, since it's like almost old magic that they're messing with in Italy. So it was just like all these things where I'm like, what the heck? In the ending, I'm like happy for it, but like would I read this book again? Absolutely not. I think it's like one of those things that if you want to experience it, you can. But there's just like some wild shit that goes on where I'm like, probably could have went my whole life without reading this. That's all I gotta say. Anyway, Jake, take it away.
Wow, what is Cell? I know other people have fucking different views on family, but like I feel like all this shit can be avoided if you just like rip these people out of your life and never talk to them again.
I think you'd like this book.
Like if you have a family member that treats you like ass, bro, like you can just not talk to them. At least if you're like an adult. I think that's allowed. I think you should do that.
I think a lot of things are allowed.
But yeah, I read a book on the recommendation of someone. I finally went through Ready Player One, the book about our virtual reality hellscape future, 2020 or whatever. But I'm sure most of y'all are familiar with Ready Player One. It's about like a kid growing up in a really shitty fucking, basically a shanty town because like I guess the world is almost out of fossil fuels and like food and global warming and shit's all fucked up. So it's like a cyberpunk hellscape nightmare, but at least they can plug into the metaverse and do shit there. So everybody is just like hanging out in the metaverse all the time in their shitty fucking trailer parks. But yeah, I guess the big plot is the guy who invented the Oasis or the fucking virtual reality world they're in put an Easter egg in his game. And he said, "Hey man, I'm dead. If you can find the Easter egg in my game, I'll just give you ownership of my like majority shareholder stocks in the company, and then you can just own it." So Wade Wilson, dork ass, or not Wade Wilson, fucking Wade Watts, dork ass, nerd ass, hate this motherfucker, high school nerd kid who spends all of his free time in the fucking Oasis is like, yeah, I'm gonna go look for this Easter egg. And I had a real fucking hard time with the first half of this book. Oh my god, I fucking hated the first half of this book. Like holy shit. Cause it's like there's a lot of love for like 80s pop culture shit in this book, which is fine. And there's like a lot of like love and reverence for like nerd culture, but he's fucking explaining all this shit to me like I don't know what it is. Like I don't know what a fucking Transformer is, or what a D&D module is, or what a fucking Star Trek is, or what a Star Wars is, or what a Lord of the Rings is. And it feels so fucking patronizing that I'm like, oh my god, this is what it would be like to be around this kid in real life. I fucking hate him. I hate this kid so fucking much. He is such a pretentious little asshole. This is probably what like mansplaining feels like to a woman.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
But at some point, a time skip happens, and his little cringe ass self gains some self awareness. And then I think the second half of this book gets like way better.
There's no time skip in the movie, is there?
I don't think so.
Okay. Would you
But
recommend it? Do you think it's worth reading?
I don't know. It's like there's the parts of this book I fucking hate. I hate a lot, but the parts of this book I like. I actually do like a lot because like there's a lot of interesting like when it goes into the fake history of the guy who developed the fucking Oasis. Like that shit is cool. That shit is fun because it's like an analog to the real life Lord British, the guy responsible for creating the Ultima series. And it's like, yeah, bro, and he fucking used this dog shit computer to fucking make this video game in his fucking garage, and then he just put them in Ziploc bags, and then he fucking threw them on the shelf of his fucking local like Radio Shack or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, this shit's all fun. This is actually quite interesting to learn about this fake guy doing all this shit that a real guy actually did do to get his games up and out there in the 80s before there was like digital storefronts and like how you fucking needed to get creative when distributing software before there was like a way to just go download it. I said that stuff's fun. I think the romance is kind of handled pretty good because Wade is fucking cringe. His love interest Artemis, she's fucking cringe, and they're both just like insufferably cringe together. But like that's why they're a good fit. It's just like I could not tolerate being around these two fucking people. If they were like real, I would not be able to do it. I would lose my fucking mind. But also like the world building is interesting. Like when he's most of my irritation comes from him trying to over explain the Oasis and how shit works. But as somebody who develops software for a living and has made video games, every single time he like tries to explain how it works, I'm just like, dude, just stop. Just fucking stop doing this. You are like, this is not how software development works. This is not how you make a video game. You do not program a building. That's not how that works. Nobody has done that for fucking like decades.
I don't know, bro. The last time I didn't program a building, people could shoot through it.
That's because I didn't program the building. That one was kind of my fault, but whatever. And like, there's just a lot of stupid techno babble that makes no sense. But maybe if you don't know anything about how computers actually work or how to develop software, it's fine. I just can't like remove myself from that and put that myself in the shoes of somebody who doesn't know anything. Like the game is apparently open source, which this motherfucker doesn't know what open source means, bro. If it's open source, you could just reverse engineer it and find the fucking Easter egg. No problem. In fact, you could just have your own copy of the Oasis and do anything you wanted with it if it was fucking open source.
Can you simulate fake dates with AI?
Yes, they do that. They even have like robot sex bots you can fucking buy that'll plug into the Oasis. So like you can feel like you're smashing something in real life, even though it's only in the VR world. And Wade goes into excruciating detail about how he fucking pumped that thing full and then felt ashamed, so he just had to fucking get rid of it.
That's fucking crazy.
Oh, this book is fucking nuts. Right? No, no, it does not. But I think like everything outside the Oasis is like kind of more interesting to me. That's like where I really fuck with the book. And when they're just like playing the Oasis and doing video game shit in the Oasis, I think that's perfectly fine. That makes perfect sense. It's just like the weird fucking techno society immediately falls apart under any kind of fucking scrutiny. But like the outside being a wasteland where it's hot as fuck and they put armed guards on fucking Greyhound buses because fucking roaming bandits will come by and try to steal the gasoline out of the fucking bus. And like all the Patreons in the fucking bus are just plugged into the metaverse the whole time because there's nothing to see because it's a just fucking hot desert wasteland. And then like for some reason Ohio is the fucking new Silicon Valley because it's where the fucking dork-ass guy who invented the Oasis started his company. And now it's one of the few places you can go to get a reliable fucking internet connection. So everybody with money moves there and shit. And how like if you end up indebted to the fucking one of these mega conglomerates that operates a bunch of shit in the Oasis, you could like be forever indentured into servitude to pay back your debt of your fucking because you stole V-Bucks and you didn't pay them back. It's cool. It's weird. It's interesting. I think it's actually fun and creative.
So you think this would have been better written as a fake history book, kind of like World War Z?
I know, I could have seen myself absolutely loving this shit as a teenager before I understood how computers and software worked. Now I think it's pretty good. I still I think the book absolutely fucking nails the landing. So I think I have just proven my own point of I will fucking throw something on a pedestal that is mid if I think the ending is really good. But yeah, I like the world building. I like the character development of Wade going from this cringe ass teenager to a jaded adult very quickly. I like the way the romance is handled. I mean, some of the references are fine. Like a lot of the time he'll like bring something up, he'll be like, yeah, so Ultraman, and then he'll like fucking have 3 pages of an explanation on what the fuck Ultraman is when I just don't think it's necessary. I think you could just say like, yeah, and then Ultraman, this Japanese cartoon character fucking has his own model in the game. Blah 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 blah. But yeah, I liked it. I like the cyberpunky, post-apocalyptic-y hell techno world future that is presented. I think that's my favorite part of the book.
So did reading save media for you this month?
No, I also totally forgot that a plot point in the book is the main character listening to Rush. It's like this book is truly a mixed bag, but as I said, it ends well enough that I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. I did fuck with this. I do think I could I think you would be entertained while reading it. And as I said, the worst thing a book can be, or not a book, a piece of media can be, is boring. And I was definitely not bored. In fact, I felt a lot of emotions reading this fucking thing. So if y'all are curious to see what the fuck all the hype was about, yeah, if you've made a video game before, this is going to irritate the fuck out of you. But if you don't know how computers work or have never made a video game before, I think you might quite like it and wouldn't have such a hard time poking, or you wouldn't be poking holes in this fucking world like I am.
So you're saying we were too stupid to understand the other media we brought up, but we might be too smart to enjoy
I'm definitely too smart to just let some of the shit that this book is setting up slide. Correct.
I see.
But yeah, honestly, Ready Player One, fucking better than Dead Rising 3, that's for fucking sure. Like, fuck me. League's better than My Hero Academia Season 4. So yeah, maybe literature will save me from my jaded self.
Crazy work. Well,
I ain't reading the sequel. You can get that shit out of here.
but it might be better than the first one, bro.
Nope. Pretty hard.
Sometimes
I really like the ending to the first one.
Yeah, you know, maybe just leave it there then. All right. Anyone got anything else?
I mean, I have an album to recommend. It's one of the few things that's actually given me any fucking ounce of serotonin over the past month.
All right. Let's hear it.
Fairy Babies, Lucky Star EP. If you are in the mood for some post-punky, bedroom poppy, female-led, bass-heavy pop, I guess, here you go. I think every single song on this album is a fucking banger, and I think the total listen time is like 25 minutes. With the exception of I Just Can't Help Myself. That song is absolute dog shit, but at least it's only like 2 minutes.
Okay. Probably give it a listen, and we'll link it.
I think I've already held you hostage and made you listen to this entire album already, but go ahead.
Might have. Is that all we got, or did you have something else, Stephanie?
Nope, I'm good.
All right. That's another episode in the books. And yeah, it was a lot longer than I thought it was.
Yeah, same. What did we learn today, gang? I think I learned that, like, I need to touch more grass because media is bad.
Or you just consume bad media.
I need to go on a hijacking plane date.
That's your thing.
I might discover something about myself, to be honest. It might be, like, enlightening.
The world might discover something about yourself. Well, little sign off. Catch you guys next time. Bye.
Yeah, later.
See ya.
All right, we're all set.
Yeah, I guess. But also, I was thinking about asking this question off air,
That's good.
but I'm not going to. What's your guys' favorite coworker music band?
Coworker music band?
Yeah, or
I could say an
artiste.
answer. I could say an answer that would piss you off. I could say MGMT.
I still don't consider MGMT coworker music.
Well, that's why I thought it would piss you off.
I mean, I just feel like they're not. You wouldn't listen to. You might find MGMT in a Zoomies or like an Abercrombie and Fitch. I don't think you'd find them in a JC Penney. But I also could be completely fucking wrong. Or like playing at a grocery store.
I don't know, Stephanie. What's your answer?
I think it really depends on your coworkers.
To me, coworker music is just like inoffensive music palatable to the majority of the population, regardless
in
of
that case,
age.
Starfucker.
Oh, I guess that one's. The problem is like that's still fucking new age hippie shit. Or at least it was at the time. Like, I think if I played Starfucker in front of my mom, I think she would just be annoyed.
Why? She would probably recognize the songs. They sample a lot of songs that she knows.
Yeah, but I've also played Starfucker in front of my friends, and they're, like, annoyed. And not in the, damn, this shit is, like, ass. Because it's generic coworker music. It's like, wow, this shit is
It's
ass because
mid?
you have a bad... yeah, because you have a bad... The problem is it's, like, not, like, mid. I feel like coworker music is functionally mid across the board. Like, I think my favorite coworker music band might be Imagine Dragons. Hate to break it to y'all, but I do not get as irate or upset when Imagine Dragons is playing at a JCPenney than I feel like most people do nowadays.
No, Imagine Dragons. Wow, it's pretty basic.
That's what I mean. That's what coworker music is. Basic. Like Taylor Swift is considered coworker music.
I feel like people get mad at Taylor Swift.
Yeah, but that's because she's like a billionaire.
Yeah.
See, what a not interesting question to ask.
I mean, I guess, yeah. I was like, I don't know what you expected, bro.
I don't know, like
been...
more discussion, a Maroon 5 maybe, a fucking AWOL Nation, a fucking Jimmy Eat World.
I like Maroon 5.
That's why I asked you what your fucking favorite coworker music is, and you're like, I don't even really understand what that is. I just call that music. No,
I mean, I'll say this.
No Harry Styles.
I mean, so hear me out though. Like with some of the, like even Taylor Swift or even like Imagine Dragons, like if you listen to some of the lyrics though, a little bit concerning. Depends. Even Benson Moon and even some like Maroon 5. And that was also another thing. But like one of the things that I think about like when it comes to like coworker music is there was a point where I worked at a gym and we would have like again like just a random playlist that would come up. And I have no idea to this day who even like made the playlist, but it was like somebody in the gym. And then we would also have like I don't know if you all remember, but like when MTV had like music videos, that would also be playing. But like the music didn't match up with the music videos. So like you could be out working out and you'll be like, "Oh, I wonder if this is like the song that I'm listening to." It would not be. But then there was one time where it was and I was like, "This is crazy." And I don't think it was actually like MTV music videos. It was just like music videos playing on the TV.
Yeah, I've seen that at like Planet Fitness before. I think it's because you're supposed to be able to like tune into like the music playing on the TV while you're on a treadmill. But that's not necessarily always what's correlated with the overhead speaker.
Fine, I guess maybe The Weeknd.
Problem is like Weekend's like good. He's just good.
Yeah, but like you could listen to The Weeknd going into a store and
I don't know, bro. It's like mid pop music. That's basically what fucking coworker music is to me. The Imagine Dragons is my favorite mid band.
it's like, what's your favorite coworker music? Except I'm going to say everything isn't coworker music except what I like.
All of Taylor Swift's worst songs I would qualify as coworker music.
Okay, that's that's fair. A lot of people probably wouldn't like her best song because they're never on the radio.
Correct.
Well, good to know that we actually
That Robert doesn't know what coworker music is.
That's because I never gave a fuck. I worked at a gas station. I played whatever the fuck I want. I got fucking what's the thing where you get in trouble?
Written up.
Yeah, I got written up for it.
I don't know. If somebody I literally told my boss, like, yeah, if you ever write me up, I'm just gonna quit. And he's like, all right, well, can't do that now.
I was like, you can tell we didn't do anything this month when we have a question instead of a what do we do this month thing.
All right,
But
bro.
before
I
we
thought the
get too
podcast hasn't
carried
officially
away,
fucking started, bro. Start the
well,
podcast.
I'm trying to.
I told you this question wasn't going to be that interesting because you're so basic. You're so marinated
The
in
question was about
mid.
being basic.
In fucking mid, you don't understand the question. It's like you can't perceive it. It's like musical color blindness. You're like the stale white bread to like a baked cake.